What is up, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of the Box Office Dynasty. We are your hosts. I'm Jack.
And I'm Josh.
And we have a nice special episode for you today. We are bringing in a special guest later on. Very excited. We're going to review our fourth Bible study movie, Shock Corridor. That's coming up real soon. Of course, go over the box office numbers, do a Jurassic World review this episode. Talk about the Odyssey, talk some Indiana Jones, and play a little game later on with our new special guest. How are you doing today, Josh?
I'm feeling good. It's been quite a weekend.
We were together this weekend, yeah.
Yeah, I just got back from your house today. I just drove home. We got together. It was 4th of July on Friday as of the recording for this. It is Sunday. So it was a holiday weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Happy belated, I guess, 4th of July to everyone out there, if you care at this point of the podcast coming out.
I think everybody forgets about 4th of July, like the day after 4th of July.
Well, in this case, it was different. It was like a whole weekend because, the holiday was on a Friday, so everyone's got off, and then now you got Saturday and Sunday, and clearly we took advantage of it. You had people over at your house, and we came, had, some of our boys there, and all mingled and had a good time, went swimming, played games, listened to music. Yeah, it was a good time.
Is 4th of July a top 5 holiday in America?
In America?
Like for you?
For me,
it's a staple, but like...
I mean, it's like maybe fringe. Here, like, I'm not the most... it's not that I'm not patriotic, but obviously with a lot of political issues and social issues in the very few, like, recent years, it makes it harder to be so enthusiastic about a very patriotic holiday such as 4th of July for me.
Yeah,
However,
but it's just a party day.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't necessarily let that, like, I'm balancing it out with other holidays on a ranking system. So that is like one end of it. But on the other end, it does give a nice summer. There's not as many summer holidays, which is weird because that is
summer holiday.
Like the summer is the time where it's like the beach and, good vibes, and
it might be number 5, top 5. It's no Christmas, it's no Thanksgiving, it's no Halloween, and it's no New Year's Eve. But I'm just saying, think about it. I did want to talk about, let me just get the actual information up real quick. Julian McMahon died recently, like 2-3 days ago, at 56 years old from cancer. I only really know him from Fantastic Four, but I just wanted to talk about him for like 2 seconds because, like, I grew up with those movies. He was the original Doctor Doom, and he was so young. Obviously, he's 56 years old, and he was the original Doctor Doom. He's one of the original live-action comic book villains that, like, we grew up with. I don't know if those movies were very integral to your childhood, but I watched, especially the second one, The Silver Surfer, on repeat nonstop when I was a kid.
Yeah, not really for me. I didn't know who he was off, name only.
Mm-hmm.
But once he told me, I mean, I definitely saw, the Fantastic Four movies at some point when I was younger. It wasn't really as big of a staple for me though. So I don't have as much of a connection to this, but 56 is obviously far too young. What happened? Did they say?
Cancer.
Yeah.
He had it was like a long battle with cancer.
Yeah. No, that's unfortunate. I mean, my condolences go out to his family.
And it's sad, too, because apparently recently someone asked him about playing Doctor Doom, and they were like, in this whole multiverse of the MCU, would you ever come back as Doctor Doom? And he was very enthusiastic about it, and he was like, I would love to if they asked me. And that was very recently, like, within the last year or so.
And, what with, like, Doomsday and everything, and the whole multiverse going on with Marvel, it was entirely on the table.
Yeah, like, he could have been like a surprise cameo in Doomsday, and we, like...
Like, that would have seemed unlikely, 20 years ago. But now, the sky would have been the limit. And it is unfortunate, you never know what could have been with all these reboots and legacy, callback. So
yeah, no. So R.I.P. I just wanted to quickly talk about it real quick.
Feel awful. Yeah, 56
Doctor
too
Doom
young.
He was way too young. Doctor Doom is one of the most iconic villains out there, and he was a great Doctor Doom. We've got some shitty Doctor Dooms. I thought he was great.
Yeah. Well, rest in peace. Like I said,
Yeah.
condolences.
Yeah. Well, after that, after talking about that, let's move into something a little better, a little more uplifting, I guess, is the Bible study film for this week. We watched Shock Corridor.
Yes, we did.
Shock Corridor. Yeah. Came out in 1963, directed by
Samuel Fuller.
Samuel Fuller. I'll go first. I give Shock Corridor 7.5 Civil War generals out of 10.
Oh, that's a good one, actually. I like that. I give Shock Corridor 9 silhouettes out of 10.
Yeah, the usage of shadows and silhouettes and color in this movie is great.
Yes.
Like, because this is an entirely black and white movie, but then when you have like very important flashbacks, they are in color.
Which is a very like jarring choice because it's so unexpected when you're watching it. So when you first get that scene when he's talking to the first witness, and we're getting ahead of ourselves a bit, we'll describe what the movie actually is, but when he's talking to that first witness, and it cuts, to that vision he's having and he's explaining it and it's all of a sudden color, like I was like taken aback.
It was cool.
For
It
sure.
was definitely cool. Yeah, I mean, so basically the film is about this journalist who his like goal is to win like the Pulitzer Prize, and then he goes undercover as an insane asylum patient, as an insane person, at a mental institution to try and report on to solve a murder that happened there, of one of the patients. And basically it's him living life in the asylum, talking to the multiple witnesses. There were 3 witnesses of the murder. As he's struggling to live with these people, he's also struggling within his own mind, and it's a really very interesting concept.
I loved it. Like when they are interviewing, like the first time I saw The Color, they're interviewing the witnesses, and it just completely like took me aback. Like I just wasn't expecting it. Like I just thought it was really cool. What was so great about this film? Like it kind of was doing 2 things at once, which I think is really impressive. It straddled this line where it was this analysis of American geopolitics and the role that it played on our society and the people that lived in our society at the time. That's represented in these 3 witnesses, and that shows up in like racial fears and identity, that shows up in nuclear fallout fears in one of the witnesses. It shows up in just war in general. Like communism. You see these 3, communism, McCarthyism are big themes that we see. So this isn't just like a flat out murder mystery, but that is the other side of this. It is this cool film noir that's very reminiscent of that era of filmmaking. And it is telling this really interesting murder mystery of a former patient there named Sloan, through these witnesses. But these witnesses, like I said, are these representations of these issues that the politics and geopolitics of America at that time had on its own people. And I found that to be really interesting to watch. And it just, it added so much more to the murder mystery when I caught on to this. And that's actually a big reason why my rating is as high as it is.
Something that I enjoyed was that the witnesses are also unreliable because they're all in a mental institution.
Yeah.
So I really liked when I was watching and having him like, he was basically like just interviewing, like interrogating them almost. When he's asking them questions and they gave their answers, I was like, is that real? Like it had me questioning what they were saying. Because not everything had a flashback. The flashbacks, I was like, okay, they're showing us. But without the flashback, I was like, is this, like, what is he talking? Is he just making this up, Which I thought was cool to have your audience, like, second-guessing that kind of thing. But why I have it lower than you, 7.5, I think that the stuff with the three witnesses is great, and I do love that. The problem is he doesn't even talk to the first witness until an hour into the movie. And I think everything else that's not his conversations with the witnesses and his experiences with them, I think is so secondary and just not as powerful and not as good to me that those scenes are so stand out to me that everything else is kind of like boring.
I mean, that's fair. I don't think that those are so secondary. They obviously are not the highlights of the film compared to the interactions with the witnesses.
Right.
But I think it is important to see his own personal descent into the insanity that is this asylum, which was the fear that his girlfriend, Kathy, had all along. Like, we see that from the very beginning. She expresses her concern about him, investing himself into this environment. And her greatest, I guess, spoilers, sorry, it came out in 1963.
For a movie that came out 60 years ago.
But, her greatest fears come true, And, which she, by the way, in my opinion, was a standout performance of the film.
Yeah, she was great.
I have to re-pull it up on Letterboxd. The actress's name is Constance Towers. Yeah, she played Kathy, and she was great. But yeah, no, that to me, really resonated, and it was also very experimental. Like, you talked before about the silhouettes, like the use of the colors and the silhouettes on the walls. Like, it really created this vibe and this tone in the film, that I just think you don't see a lot of then. You see even less of it now. I never seen anything like it, because it was almost like the silhouettes on the walls told their own story in this as well. And
yeah,
so it was something that really captured my eye, was how experimental and willing to step out of the box this film was. And I always appreciate that, in an era where, they were going with the studio code, and they were, filmmakers were very restricted in their creative freedoms. So I love it when they stepped out of boundaries like this. And I wish we saw more of it now.
The main guy looks just like Charlie Sheen to me. Did you notice
really?
that? Yeah, I was watching, I was like, dude, this guy looks exactly like Charlie Sheen.
Wait, I'm going to pull up a picture of him.
You tell me.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. He kind of looks like if you combine Charlie Sheen with the guy who voices Patrick in SpongeBob.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That guy's so much old. Well, I'm talking about this movie specifically. I guess I don't know if you're looking at an older photo.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's true.
I
don't know.
But yeah, so that's. I mean, I don't really have much else to say about it. I don't know if you have anything else to add.
I was gonna say, I do understand if some people had issues with the portrayals. Like, that was the one thing for me, was like, sometimes in older movies you do see these harsher or more disrespectful, distasteful, inaccurate portrayals of mental health. And I think that this movie isn't necessarily doing that as directly, but I do think that some of the performances could maybe be over the top. And I understand if that's something, I've read some other people's thoughts. I always like to read reviews on Letterboxd and other people reviews. Just, I like getting the idea of people's thoughts of movies, community's thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that definitely seems like, and it's not just with Shock Corridor, but it definitely seems like something that concerns people.
Are you talking about the opera singer?
Yeah,
his fucking roommate, dude. Because that guy was bothering me the whole movie.
Yeah, I just this more annoying kind of, just inaccurate, I think we are lucky that we live in a time where there is a lot more awareness and appreciation and respect for mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And we see more accurate representations in media now. And I just wanted to take this part of the show this week to highlight that with this film and with that in media in general, because I think it's important. Obviously mental health is something that is obviously not talked about a lot. And so the representation in media, like anything that needs more representation, sometimes is underutilized or done, like I said, ill will. But that is definitely something that knocks this movie a little bit. But it reminds myself how lucky we are to live in a time where people really do care about it.
Yes, brother. Speak your truth, bro.
That's the point I guess I am making on it. I wanted to know where this ranks on your Bible study list.
So this is the fourth movie we saw for Bible study, and this is my second favorite.
What's Get Out number one?
Get Out number one, Shock Order number two, The Great Dictator number three, La Adelante number four. I think you probably have the same answer.
You guys remember when Jack gave Get Out a 7.5 out of 10?
Dude, that's a hot take. I know.
Anyway, my list is a little different. It's Get Out, The Great Dictator, Shock Corridor, and La Adelante.
I forgot you loved The Great Dictator. But anyway, the way this, I don't know who gave that number for this movie, but if you're watching this, comment a random number from 24 to 1,265. And the way it works is that we have our film Bible, which Josh has right now. It's got 1,000 essential movies to see, rated by the New York Times. And we will pick a random number in our comments. We have like a bunch that we have to go through. And so you might as well add a number to that. And we pick it and we watch it. And this week was Shock Corridor. Last time was Get Out. And we'll see what the next one is. So make sure you comment.
Next week, we will be picking another one like Jack said. So please comment. We always post Bible study clips. But even on any clip, you just post a number. We'll know what you mean. It could be yours, and we'll watch it. We just watched Shock Corridor. Whoever 996 was, we watched it. And we might watch yours next. So please comment. We're always looking for more numbers.
That's right.
I just checked it off.
I got to get back. I got to do that for Get Out and Shock Corridor. But I think now, are we introducing a guest right now?
All in a day's work. Yes, we are. All right. My friends, for the second time in Box Office Dynasty history, we have a guest. And this guest is really exciting. I'm going to give him a little introduction once we get him in here. But like with Brandon last time, we got to go pick him up from school. Got to pick up the kid from school.
So we'll be back in 30 seconds for you, probably less, and probably a longer time for us.
Like a real long time. Might be days or years. Who knows?
We'll be right back.
All right.
Yo, what's up, guys? Yo.
Yeah, so we're back. All right. We picked him up from school. We're going to introduce today's guest, our second guest in history. He is a 2-time Emmy winner. I'm going to flex that for him. This is a film podcast and TV podcast.
You don't have to do that.
He's a 2-time Emmy winner for the Discovery Channel in Florida.
Florida Channel. I'll correct you a little bit.
This was the prop.
I'll walk you through that.
I knew it was Discover, and I knew Florida.
You got to do your research for the guests.
Yeah, man, come on. You're already blowing
research. I have a DVD of here, the Florida Keys. I've watched this. Is great.
Yes.
Killian, you worked on this. You edit for them.
I do.
So, yeah, Killian, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Dude, I'm so excited because I'm probably your number one fans. And I've actually never met Jack before.
That was first time, dude. I'm very happy you're here.
Being here live is kind of crazy because I actually listen. I don't watch it. But like seeing you guys here, it's like tuning in live, you know? Like I'm finally here. I don't even have to listen to it again. Like I'm one and done and I'm gone.
Yeah. You're like the you're our version of the first like long time listener, first time caller. Like for radio shows.
Yeah,
when they have people calling, they're like hi. And they're like, I'm a long time listener, first time caller. I have a question for Jack. Why are you a ginger? So
I get that question every day of my life. I ask myself that in the mirror.
Jack wakes up. That's him asking himself in the mirror. That he's like, why am I?
For real, bro.
God, why am I ginger? But we're happy to have you.
We're very happy.
Yeah, I'm super excited to be here. It's great. I mean, I've known Josh for a while here since middle school, and our relationship has grown over the years, and we've gone through a lot with film and the arts. Honestly, we've made a lot of short films together. We've watched a lot of movies together. We've had our marathons and binges, And Josh has just been a key person in my life, and someone that I could just chat with. I mean, I call Josh almost as much as I call my mom. So he's just always that chill guy that's around to talk movies, to talk life, to be kind of my therapist. I mean, he's just a huge dude in my life that I fucking love. So thank you for that, Josh. He's a film therapist, and Jack, hopefully this gets me acquainted with. You could be third after my mom and Josh.
You could call me after them. Yeah.
You know what? I love this because you two are two of my closest friends and both appreciate film, and you know that film is important to me as a person and helps me. I literally take lessons from movies and television that help me navigate my own reality and the problems that I face in it and the ups and downs. And that's something that you can bond over with other people. And the both of you, I've bonded with very deeply over this craft that helps us, that, you know, we share that ability to use what we take from these films and shows to live our lives and be better people. And it's, you know, that friendship is built around that, makes us better people. And now I get to connect that web, you know, by doing this podcast. Like Killian, I wouldn't have Letterboxd without you. I got it 8 years ago. Eight years ago, you introduced me to the app. I can't believe it was that long ago.
And life has gone downhill ever since.
Yeah. My bank account's only gotten worse ever since. But no, like it really, like, obviously I loved movies, but like Letterboxd, you know, we use it all the time in reference on the pod. All of us here are avid users of it. It's such a great place for the film community to gather. You introduced me to that. That led me down, you know, a place where I can really channel all of my thoughts and opinions and all of that about films in one place, which has led eventually to this podcast, which is leading us to do this together. Point being, we've talked about this before in previous episodes. Film is a great way to bring people together. The arts is a great way to bring people together. Killian, you and I are a prime example of that. Jack, you and I are also a prime example of that. And that's why we're fucking here right now doing this fucking podcast.
Bro, that's crazy because I wouldn't have Letterboxd without Killian either then. Because like you,
wow.
you were the one who had me get Letterboxd, Josh.
Yeah, so it is the butterfly effect. It's
really what's crazy is when I downloaded Letterboxd, like it wasn't anything. Like no one else used it that I knew, so I had to recruit people, which then recruited other people. But Josh, you and I, we would review movies on Instagram. Both of us had our own accounts in high school.
Really?
And we were so passionate about it. And I don't think we ever questioned where is the app for movie reviewing. But once we found it, you know, or it found us, it's hard to let go. It's hard to like just log off and be like, I'm done with it. Like it is just so good to connect with people and kind of bash friends about their ratings and just know who watched what and who wants to watch what. And I love it.
Yeah, man.
Whoever's
watching this, go find those old high school Instagram accounts. Go find those movie accounts, dude, and expose.
We probably
these guys.
could. We're not gonna give it to you, but if you find it, good on you because they're probably out there.
We're doing a scavenger hunt.
Yeah, that's your homework.
Yeah, first one wins a spot as a guest star on the Box Office Dynasty.
Well, you know, Killian, obviously you and I don't know each other very well. This is our first meeting
at all,
and yeah, very well at all.
I know you. You don't know me.
I know. I've heard a lot about you, but. And you know, you've known Josh for a long time, but Josh and I just have a couple questions to get to know you a little bit more and to get the audience to know you a little bit more. So we're going to do one of my favorite segments that we do called Taking the Stand. And we're throwing Killian up on the stand.
We're putting you up there, pal.
Yeah, we are. We're
podium.
interrogating
I'm ready.
the shit out of you.
Spotlight's on you. We're questioning you.
Do I get like a lie detector test?
It's like an interrogation, a police interrogation. We're sitting you down in the room,
And Josh, how do you decide who asks the first question?
Dude, there's only one way, and Killian has to be here for one of the monumental moments that is recurring.
Martin Van Buren.
Thank you. You know what?
Marty.
We needed someone to introduce it other than us. Here he is, in his glory, MVB, and we're going to decide who goes first.
Can I touch it?
Everyone's favorite president.
How do we decide heads and tails? How do we want to
You call it in the air. I think I called it the last time.
All right, Kill. I'm gonna phone a friend and have Kill call it for me.
Josh, your heads.
Tails. Fuck! I always lose these.
Get fucked, dude. That's because you dropped it. You're supposed to catch it.
Yeah. Well, that's the first time I've ever dropped it. Oh yeah, you're right. I didn't flip it. Oh, heads, let's go. Because normally that is the first drop in box office history. Yeah, that's what I usually do.
We're not starting this podcast off great.
And then you win it that way too.
We had so many
technical Final Destination
earlier too. So
yeah, this fucking episode sucks.
We just got a couple questions for you. Just
not because of you.
Yeah, this fucking Killian Joy's like, this shit sucks, dude.
What a nice welcome.
Which question do I start with? I think, all right, Killian, if you could reboot one franchise, what would you reboot today?
Wow, that's a loaded question.
Yeah.
So it's like Back to the Future is always in the talks, because that's been up and down and just in the Hollywood conversation, and honestly in the fan conversation. I'm like, I don't want to see that shit again. It's great the way it is. Let's leave it. Oh, it's so hard.
Back to the Future is what I thought of when I was asking this question too.
Yeah, because it's surprising it hasn't been touched. And honestly, same with Jaws. Universal, honestly, with Jurassic Park getting rebooted so many times, it's hard to see their other big properties not getting that love. I know the movies haven't been as great, but it's such a cash grab. Jurassic World, which we'll get into, is such an easy $1 billion movie, which I think Jaws could be too, done right. So I wouldn't go with those. It's so tough because it's like, what do I want to see again, just done better? That's already perfect, because perfection is kind of, let's let it be. I don't need to see it again. That's hard.
I know it's tough. Does it change if I include, like, you can make a live action remake of something that came out years ago or something like that? Like, let's involve that also.
And I don't know if I would. Like, there hasn't been any great live action remakes. Like, How to Train Your Dragon was great, but besides that, man, that's such a hard, because I'm trying to think franchise too. Let me think for a second here. Man, I guess, honestly, I could see Gremlins being rebooted, and I think it is.
Oh, really?
But I think done right, Like, that's something where the first one was I don't want to say ahead of its time, but it was really cool to see, and it still holds up. And the second one expanded on that idea, did something completely different, very satirical. And I think done right, again, they can make it fun. They can bring, those movies back, make them enjoyable, bring back the puppets, bring back some of the old actors that maybe have kind of lost acting roles, and, kind of let you relive that, the movies, maybe in a different town or setting. Like, it's I think that's something that I'm surprised hasn't been retouched in a while.
That's a great answer, because I don't think, like, if you did Jaws, if you did Back to the Future, there's zero chance it's better than the original, and you were just going to piss everyone off. But I think they can make Gremlins possibly better. So I do really like that answer.
And think of merchandise sales. Like, every studio's trying to sell these keychains. They're trying to sell stickers. They're trying to sell T-shirts like Grogu and the babyfied versions of everything. Gizmo from Gremlins is already there. Like, make him tinier and you're there,
You're swimming in it. You're swimming in it.
You're swimming in Gremlins, yeah.
You're swimming in Gremlin schmeckles. All right, Kill. Well, my first question for you, I guess, is kind of similar. If you could change one thing from a movie or show, what would it be? So this isn't necessarily like, the last one, but like, if something that already exists and you changed it about it, what would you do?
And that's so hard, because that's anything. It's like, what's a movie that's like a 9 and so close to perfection, but there's this one thing that holds it back?
Yeah.
And my mind is going to, like, an actor who's a performer, where it's like, this movie's great, but, like, that is just something that could be recasted. Thinking recently, just an easy shot, like, I thought Mickey 17 was amazing. The last act, though, make it goofier. I don't need it to be serious. So that's just what comes to my mind. Because that movie was, like, honestly, it's very close to perfection in the sense that it's very goofy. The performances are great. It's kind of scary somewhat too, but I think it really loses itself in the last act. So recently speaking, that is one thing where, the movie's so good, and then there's that but that comes in my brain that says, well, don't watch the last 30 minutes because it's not as great as it posed itself to be.
Yeah.
Are you a Star Wars guy? This isn't even my question. Are you a Star Wars guy, Kill?
I think everyone is in some regard. It's like I have keychains and
surprised.
t-shirts. I am the sucker. But I don't know the planets. I don't know the little, Glup Shido characters. I don't know everything, but I'm like, I'll watch the new movies. I'll keep up with your guys, with Jack, your takes and kind of what I need to know in the news. Like a Christopher Nolan Star Wars movie, like I am on board for that too.
Dude,
it would be nuts. All right, but between that and the dual Michael Cera, though, which one would you pick?
I know. When you said dual Michael Cera, I was like, that's gonna blow out. That's such a perfect movie. And then I was like, wait, there could be like actual movies too. So I will choose the Star Wars because I'm thinking cinematically, history-wise, the Michael Cera one will not be remembered for centuries.
Well, when Josh just asked that question, my brain automatically went to The Last Jedi. Like, how do you feel about those sequel movies? The Star Wars
from like
sequels.
8 and 9.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't know if this is a hot take, but I think Episode 7, Force Awakens, is actually like a good movie. I know people say it's formulaic and it just does the same thing, but I think they do it really well where the characters are shells of themselves, and then you get the next movies expecting we're going to expand on this. What are the relationships going to be? What's the side plots going to be? And you don't get that. So it might be a little harder to watch now, but when I saw it, I was like, being in the audience with the clapping when the text is scrolling, and I think it still lives up great. But sequel wise, I honestly don't care. I didn't think The Last Jedi was bad, and I haven't revisited since my initial watch, but I thought, what's it even called? The Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah,
right?
Dude,
yeah.
Fucking terrible.
Absolute garbage. That is like, I remember I was on set at film school, but I was on set and I remember I think it was like lunch and I was scrolling through my phone and I saw the Rotten Tomato score was like under 60%. So it was like rotten.
Fuck.
And I remember my mind just being like, this is going to be garbage. That's the one time I'll trust Rotten Tomatoes.
I have a super funny quick story about The Rise of Skywalker. Jack, you'll remember this. So the year it came out around Christmas time. Like a lot of times big releases for Star Wars and Disney like that will come out at that time. The holiday season is the biggest season for film. And so The Rise of Skywalker was coming out, and we were in college at the time still, and we were doing a Secret Santa. And our buddy Crosby, who we've mentioned on this podcast in the past, who we saw yesterday at Jack's, love you Crosby, he got me in the Secret Santa. And so, I mean, it wasn't like a crazy one. It was like a $20 like kind of max, right? 20 or 25, whatever it was, something like that. And his gift to me, because I didn't have A-list at the time, was tickets for the new Star Wars movie. And I was like, fuck yeah. Like, that's sick. I was like, you know what? You know me well. Like, I don't need something super materialistic. Like, I fucking love Star Wars, and now I don't have to pay to go opening night to see the new release. So I was super excited about it. And then I fucking go, and I see the movie opening night. I'm like, this fucking sucks. This is the worst fucking gift I've ever fucking gotten. No offense to Crosby. It wasn't his fault. Like, it obviously was not his fault. He had no
He didn't make the movie, bro.
He didn't make the movie. But I was just like, dude, I remember like getting something super nice for Secret Santa that year for who I got. And then I end up fucking getting tickets to fucking Rise of Skywalker. I was like, well, shit, I just get like a 3 out of 10 rating on Letterboxd is what I get. Like,
did you tell him it was a bad gift afterwards?
No, in all reality, it was, well, yeah, he's going to find out. It saved you some money, honestly. It did save me some money. I didn't have to pay to go see the movie after all. And so I give him that. Yeah, I would have had to, and I would have been pissed about that.
That wasn't even my question, like one of my original questions. But you talk about changing shit. I totally would have changed the sequels. But all right, so for my second question,
that's actually that's great. I would probably go with that. Yes.
Yeah, I was like, I would keep them all the same director. At least if they're shitty, they're all like they make sense together. You know,
consistent. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's actually better. Like thinking in a franchise sense, like yes, that's something I would absolutely change.
What you said about Force Awakens with the credits roll, the clapping, or when the title screen comes up. What was your best movie theater experience? Like, what movie were you watching when shit just was like, this is a fucking great experience?
Yeah, so I think the given is Infinity War and Endgame. Like that is, everyone's gonna say that, and I'm gonna say that, but that's not gonna be my pick because I already thought about this. I knew this was gonna come up because it's such a good get to know you question, and so that's a given. I was there with Josh for Infinity War, and I was there with a group of friends that I shared with Josh for Endgame. He was not able to make it, unfortunately. He got snapped away.
But they were avenging me.
Yeah, I was on my way. He showed up at
fallen.
the end.
I came out of the portal in the movie theater.
On your left.
On your left. Yeah, exactly.
I just have popcorn and I sit down next to you at that moment.
On your left.
At your left, dude.
I remember seeing weird. This is gonna sound weird. Ready Player One, and I remember thinking this shit is so good, and the whole theater was in on it, and the Shining scene, and you got all these characters coming together, and I was like, this is just a blockbuster. This is so cool to share this experience with everyone. And I think over time that's dropped a little bit. I think a lot of people have gave it shit. Again, I think that's a hot take. But I remember sitting in the theater with my brother Kyler, and we were like eating that shit up. We thought it was so good. And I've only had a handful of those experiences. And my favorite movie is Parasite. When I saw Parasite, I knew the credits scrolled and I just sat there and I was like, I think this is my top 10 favorite movies. And then I rewatched it and I'm like, wait, this is like my favorite movie ever. So that, and then Midsommar is my third. Sorry, I'm just so passionate about movies. It's hard to just like.
No, this is great.
I gotta go off. I gotta present myself. You gotta get to know me. Midsommar is something I haven't revisited because I'm afraid I might not like it as much. But I remember watching it, and I'm a huge sucker for horror movies, and I just didn't expect it to be like that well made and so cinematic. Like there's shots in there that's like just so gripping, and then there's so many like jaw-dropping moments that like you just don't see in other movies, and I wasn't prepared for it. And I just remember like, and sitting next to Sydney, my girlfriend, she did not like it, but I remember being like blown away by it. And yeah, that movies do something to you. A movie theater experience,
they really
like,
do.
There's nothing like
you.
it. That's great that you had all those, because there's really nothing like it.
You took the you took the words out of my mouth for my second question, which was going to be, what is your favorite movie of all time? But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead to my last question then, and we'll wrap it around, and Jack will end with his last, which is a little more personal. And that is, what is a project that you have been a part of that you're most proud of? Like, of all the things you've worked on, whether it's professional or personal, like, what's the one you're most proud of?
Wow, that's such a touching question, to be honest. And I didn't prepare for that one. But I've worked on a lot of really cool projects in my line of work. And honestly, personally, I'm very proud of what I have grown from since high school when I started making short films, and just being able to treasure those like means a lot to me. I don't know if I really show people them, but they're time capsules. There's something I can revisit and say, this is a time in my life when I thought this was art, and it always will be, but I thought at the time this was as good as it gets. But professionally speaking, and just overall an insane great watch is our show Protector Paradise, that I was a production assistant and assistant editor on, among many other things, a jack of all trades. But I thought that project about protecting Florida's environment, visiting the people who change the policies, seeing the people who really fight for conserving Florida, and the problems with growth in our state, the problems with the water, problems with wildlife and rehabilitation, that stuff is really gripping. And being able to drive to places, being able to see and meet people and interview them who care about this stuff and are so passionate about moving the dial and changing things is like, it's honestly like spine tingling. Like I really was gripped by being there in the moment, but being able to present a 6-part docuseries and show people like, this is like what's happening right now. And hopefully if you watch this, you can be involved in that change. You could at least be aware and move this message along. I remember being on one of the shoots, which is actually my favorite shoot I was ever on, was a manatee release. And it was in partnership with SeaWorld, who has a rehabilitation center for manatees. Manatees are my favorite animal. And seeing a manatee out of water and getting pulled out of a truck and into the ocean, just being set free, is like poetic. Like it doesn't get better than that. I never would have thought I would be able to work on something like that. I honestly never had the goal to work on something like that, but being able to be a part of projects like that surprised me and keep me entertained. Like I don't know. I always have this like dream of like moving out to Hollywood and working on the big Marvel movie and working on stuff to make people proud, you know? But like, honestly, I'm very humble and very appreciative of like where I am right now, and being able to like present good TV and stuff that will inform people. So yeah, Protector Paradise, watch it on YouTube, Discover Florida channel. It is an amazing series, and look for my name in the credits.
It's an official Box Office Dynasty recommendation. We hope you all
it's
check
certified.
it out. It is certified. I've seen a lot of it myself, and it is really awesome stuff. And especially for content that I'm not familiar with, to see your passion about it, and see like the great work that you guys are doing, both from an entertainment standpoint and from an environmental standpoint. It is really moving and cool, and that was a great answer. So I love that.
Dude,
we're best friends. We're best friends, and I could still learn something about you. That's what I love. So
I wish you asked your question last, Josh, because my question fucking sucks, dude. My last question, bro. All right.
What's your favorite color?
Well, it could have been what's your favorite animal, but now I got that answered. So who knows?
I'm answering a bunch along the way.
There you go, dude. We're learning so much. No, to end it off, just because this is like my type of movie. I love a good superhero movie. I just want to know what you think is the best superhero movie of all time.
Yeah, I gotta go Infinity War. I just think like the not only the experience in the theater, but just the cliffhanger, the way of filmmaking, the way of like leaving an audience like guessing and wanting and unsure of what's gonna happen next, but being so like gripped by it. Like it had a stranglehold on everybody. Everyone was watching it. I think Endgame is almost as good, but Infinity War, like to see all your favorite characters come together and destroy this villain who was arguably better and more reasonable in a way. Like you see a lot of superhero movies and maybe you have a great actor as the villain, but I think the villain's motive has to be good and understandable. And I think I speak for a lot of people when I say Thanos, like you could see where he was coming from. And this is my nerd type shit coming out, but I just really appreciated like the balance, as Thanos would say, but the balance of heroes and villains sharing that screen time, not just Thanos is bad, let's go get him, he wants to destroy Earth and conquer it. Like, let's take some moments with Thanos and hear what he is saying. Let's see his journey. Let's see his past. Let's see what he thinks a perfect future looks like. And I think Endgame did such a great way of following up. And that's something I wouldn't change about those movies. Like you asked me what's something you would change about a franchise. I think like the two, Infinity War followed by Endgame, like I honestly wouldn't change a thing. I think that they're just honestly perfect from a film standpoint and from a film nerd standpoint.
I'll never forget like that first viewing in the theater with Infinity War at the end with Thanos. Bro. Like I'll literally never forget that feeling. Like the you silence. Talk about like the theatrical experience. Yeah, it like normally, at the end of these big event films with superheroes, people are excited, they're clapping, they're cheering. Like there was just this raw, like gutted feeling in the theater. Especially after people were so invested and like audibly invested and all of that. Just like it was so surreal. Honestly, so surreal.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm surprised you said Infinity War. I thought I was gonna get a Dark Knight or something out of you. But
yeah, I'm a film nerd, but I'm trying not to be pretentious. Like I still have the geek in me. You know what I mean? Like I still like to be entertained. But that's also a great movie. Like, but I think there's a balance between the two. And I haven't seen Dark Knight in a while, so maybe this calls for a rewatch.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, me too, bro. It's been so long. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Let's watch it after this.
Let's go, guys.
Let's pause right now. We'll pause. We'll watch it, and then we'll come back and review.
We'll be back in 2.5 hours
on the episode. Yeah, drop it off school.
Yeah, so that's all our questions, right?
I guess there's no other way to go about it than to just get some box office numbers done.
Yeah, that's always hard to segue to the box office numbers.
Yeah,
I was thinking you guys were gonna segue to the Odyssey, talking about Christopher Nolan.
There's no
our segues are trash, dude.
There's no good. No, sometimes we have good ones, but with the box office numbers, there's usually like no good way. It's just like, all right, guys, we got to tell you some numbers now.
Here, we'll tell you some.
Sorry,
it's the name of the podcast. You got to do it.
We got to do it.
I enjoy it.
We enjoy it because we're nerds. There's definitely people who listen who probably like with the timestamps, like beep, skip, like, and you know what? That's fine. It's not.
Give them the wrong
everyone,
timestamps.
Yeah, I just mix it all up. Actually, every timestamp that I put is the box office numbers. So every time you click, you're just going back to the box office numbers.
You have to
fucking
listen.
listen.
It's like Groundhog Day.
Yeah, you're like, I've heard this weekend before. Every weekend, Jurassic World Rebirth comes out.
Like,
how does it keep releasing every weekend? Okay, so we are recording this on a Sunday, so these numbers are estimated, but, you know, for all intents and purposes, these are the box office numbers for the 4th of July weekend, July 4th through the 6th. I don't know if these are counting Wednesday and Thursday for Jurassic World, just to preface. I'm not sure. In 5th place, in its 3rd weekend of release, making $4.6 million, is 28 Years Later. That is a 52.8% drop from last weekend. In 4th place is Pixar's Elio, coming in at $5.7 million in its 3rd weekend of release. In 3rd place, the live-action How to Train Your Dragon, making an even $11 million. That's beautiful. That looks nice. $11 million flat. It's a 43.9% drop from last weekend. It's in its 4th weekend. In 2nd place, in its 2nd weekend, the underrated blockbuster of the summer, F1, making $26 million domestically. And in 1st place, in its 1st weekend of release, making $91.5 million domestically, is Jurassic World Rebirth. Not surprised that movie is the #1 film on the box office.
We knew
what
that
I'm
was
really
coming.
going to be interested to see is next weekend when it competes with Superman, because Jurassic World is a franchise that does tend to make a lot of money. But I don't think it's ever been pitted up against a movie. I mean, I don't know every single Jurassic franchise release date on the top of my head, but, you know, to see it pitted up against a big blockbuster like Superman coming out that's going to be like #1, I'm sure. Like, how much do you guys think Jurassic World is going to lose from that, from what it might have made?
I think a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
like we talked about last time, the Jurassic World movies all have made over $1 billion, but they're going down. Like the last one barely made $1 billion. So I think this one's maybe like 700 million in total, 800 million. Like it's not hitting the $1 billion mark, especially with Superman coming out.
And the bad word of mouth. I mean, it hasn't really been.
But I think the real question is,
best.
what do you guys think is going to make the most money? Jurassic World, Superman, or Fantastic Four?
Superman.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think with the Marvel distrust, you know, going around still, even though Thunderbolts was great, but people have Marvel fatigue, and Jurassic World doesn't have great reviews.
Do we think Superman and Fantastic Four are both going to hit $1 billion?
I think Superman will easily.
I think Superman will. I think, like, people have this fear of Fantastic Four, including myself. I think, like, I'm sure they have a lot of history, and Jack, you could probably back that up. But, like, I don't think, personally, the characters are as interesting as others. And I think stylistically it looks good. They have the star power as well. But, like, I'm not going to see the movie to see, like, Mr. Fantastic and, who is it, Invisible Woman's relationship. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much history there, but yeah, they're Marvel's like first family. They're the first Marvel team, but they don't have a good track record, bro. They've got so many shitty movies. I think people are gonna be like, fuck this. Like, there's gonna be another shitty movie.
Yeah, there was one in the 90s that was terrible.
Yeah, they have four terrible movies, bro.
And you know what? Especially in the climate this year, there hasn't been a movie in 2025 to hit $1 billion yet. When we thought a Minecraft movie and Lilo and Stitch would both cross that mark, they've both
Wait,
fallen.
Minecraft did it?
No, it fell short, and Lilo and Stitch fell short. They're both at like 900 million something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right there.
Well, I think Lilo and Stitch. I think Disney is gonna like buy every single theater out just to like.
Lilo and
prove a point,
Stitch, as of this weekend, is at $972 million.
Yeah, it's crossing.
So,
They'll
but
pull some strings.
But think about it. It is in its 7th weekend of release now. with Superman coming out next week. So
yeah, I keep forgetting about those obstructions. Like, and that might be like Superman might beat Fantastic Four, because if you think people who aren't A-listers like us, they're probably paying to see one movie. Like, I'd be superheroed out after I see the first superhero.
Yeah, they may want to see Superman again. That is a good point. Like, Fantastic Four does have 2 weeks between it and Superman with its release date, but I do wonder how much of Superman's potential success, especially if it does, like, it sounds like it's like expectations a week out or a little less than a week out from its release now seem like this is going to be a good movie. How good of a movie remains to be seen. But like, if it really is as great of a movie as we all hope, it could also impact Fantastic Four's box office the way it's going to hurt Jurassic World. Not as much, but like it could.
Do you guys want to talk Jurassic World?
Yes, I just
do it.
So the way we usually do this, I know you definitely know this already, Killian, but we just go in order.
You don't gotta tell me.
I know. The 3 of us are gonna give our ratings for Jurassic World. We always do some stupid shit, like 7 blanks out of 10, some whatever. But I guess I'll start. I rate Jurassic World Rebirth 8 Snickers bars out of 10. And I knew somebody else was planning on saying that too. I thought it was gonna be Josh. Sorry,
that
bro.
was me.
Sorry, bro.
It was too easy.
I know, it's the only one I could think of.
I don't know if I have one for this, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, get the fuck out of here,
a lot of opportunities.
bro.
Dude, you gotta start writing.
I'm just gonna say I give the movie 6 Odyssey teasers out of 10.
Okay.
Odyssey teaser is my biggest takeaway from the movie. We'll talk about that a little later in the episode.
I can tell. My rating for Jurassic World Rebirth is 7 Snickers wrappers as well out of 10. I'll change it to product placements though, because that was kind of ridiculous.
That was crazy, dude.
Not like that's not every Jurassic movie since the first Jurassic World.
But like that's like an anti-Snickers campaign. That's like it got so many people killed. Like that's so
maybe they
crazy.
didn't pay up. Snickers didn't.
Yeah, it was the opposite. Snickers. It was supposed to save the day, but then the check didn't like it bounced.
Save the day. It like jokes a dinosaur at the end.
They just throw the Snickers bar into the dinosaur's mouth, and the dinosaur just chokes and dies. They're all like, "Fuck yeah!"
Was that Snickers?
No,
that was like,
what if the dinosaur eats the Snickers and then just turns into a normal person again? And it's like you're not you when you're hungry.
That was a Snickers commercial, right?
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Bro, also, was it that first guy loses his fucking first day on the job? Like, are you joking me, dude? Like, that was insane with the Snickers bar. Like, it's your first day. It had to have been his first day on the job.
Dude, if you're working in that lab, like, do they even have vending machines? Like, where are you getting a Snickers?
He brought it from home.
Is there,
wait for
who's the vendor that's coming down to this dinosaur-infested island to deliver this
gift
secret
shop.
lab?
Don't forget.
There was the gift shop.
That's true. But, like, who's delivering these products? Like, who's delivering
Doritos?
There has to be a vendor sent from the company. There has to be a vendor sent.
Frito-Lays.
So we're gonna talk.
Like, fucking don't care.
We're gonna talk Rebirth, and we're gonna do non-spoilers for the first couple minutes, just if anyone wants to
skip. It's too late for that.
No. All we know is fuck the Snickers causes everything.
Spoiler alert: Snickers kills everybody.
Yeah. So we'll do non-spoilers for Jurassic World Rebirth. What do you got? I said 8. You said 6. Josh, you said 7. Kill.
Yeah, we got an average of 7.0.
I was a big fan of it. Not everyone I was with loved it. I just thought it was the perfect blend of the old parks and the new world movies, but like the best stuff of it. And I understand there's a lot of stupid shit in it. Like there's so many scenes where it's like, how the fuck did that happen? Or why the fuck did that person do that? But I was just like, I just loved the vibe, I guess, of the movie itself. And I guess you guys didn't love it as much as I did, but I was a big fan for sure.
Well, you were 8. Kill, you're in the middle, so you should go next. And I'm the one who thought it was the worst, so I'll go last.
Yeah, I thought it wasn't great at first, and then there was a scene which we'll get into in spoiler territory where it honestly changed my opinion, and from then on the movie was great. So, yeah, it was a good movie. I think it's getting too much hate.
Was that scene? Was it on the water?
It was on the water.
That was my bet. That's the best part of the fucking movie, dude. Yeah, it's so good.
I gave it a 6. I just did not love it as much as you guys. I felt like there were positives, and I will give it its credit there. But it felt very much like this. Like, this is a franchise that feels like it's chasing its tail. Like, it's just running in a circle, chasing its tail. I feel like it's lost the plot. It hasn't taken advantage of some of the interesting ideas that the world has potentially set up in the past. And I just feel like what I was hoping was going to be a fresh new start ended up being a very formulaic, like, half-baked version of the same movie that I've seen before. And that's not to say that the reason it's a 6 is because some of the people involved did do good things. I thought the actors were all great. Scarlett was great. Mahershala Ali, he was great. Jonathan Bailey, I thought was great. I didn't find their characters particularly interesting. I thought the writing was poor. I think that is kind of a common theme in Garth Edwards movies, is scripts and characters being a little lackluster at times, and I thought that was a little more extreme here than in something like Rogue One or The Creator, where I just didn't find their characters interesting. I didn't think that their motives always made sense. I didn't think the decisions based off those motives always made sense. I didn't think that their sudden 180s on their decisions, on their motives made sense. Like, it just felt like a lot of what was going on in this movie was just happening to happen. And that's what I mean by this franchise is at a point where it's just spinning in a circle. And I don't know where it could possibly go from here.
I don't even necessarily disagree. Like, I think I'm with you. The characters aren't interesting, but I still, like, felt for them. And I think there was, like, and I don't know if it's the actors or the way they're written, but I thought they were so, like I just connected with them. They were so charismatic, and I was hoping certain ones like didn't die. Like, there's so many Jurassic World movies where I'm like, I don't give a fuck if this person dies or not. But this whole movie, I was like, I'm rooting for them. Like, I actually felt connected to them in a way where even if they weren't as interesting, I just really enjoyed seeing them on my screen.
I'll go half and half on that. I thought the side plot was super engaging, and even more engaging than the main, because the characters were very relatable. And I think it worked. Like, I don't know if you could have a movie with just those side characters in it, but like, they had the balance of the science geeks and then, the families like you and I, where you're not expecting to be attacked by the you-know-whats, and then there it goes and something happens, and you have to fend for yourselves and work together. I don't know. It might be a little generic too. Like, I've seen that before, but I enjoyed that part. I thought it was very great and interesting.
Yeah. I just feel like whenever I watch this franchise, I want the stakes to get higher, the dinosaurs to get scarier, and the danger to be more extreme. And I just don't feel like that happened in this movie compared to the past. There's good visuals. Obviously, I'm not saying that dinosaurs don't look great. They look fantastic. It's just that this franchise should have leaned in the apocalyptic horror realm by now. Like, I just feel like they're really, like, biting their tongue on this, and it just feels like they're not upping that ante. Like, I'm sitting there and I'm waiting for that moment again and again. And you referenced the water scene. There are good scenes, but it's just not reaching that critical moment in this franchise. I think it's a problem in Fallen Kingdom. I think it becomes a bigger problem in Dominion, and I think it's a problem that is just kind of middling off here in Rebirth. I don't think they actually know how to make this more extreme. I don't even love using that word in this argument, but like, that's the first one that comes to mind. Like, they're not raising the stakes. They're not making it bigger and scarier to me. Like, this movie just didn't have that moment.
Well, I think you're right. I think we should just get into spoilers so we could talk specifics.
It is very hard to, like,
yeah. So we'll timestamp. So, if you don't want to hear these spoilers, just skip ahead to the next thing.
Box office numbers are coming up right now.
Yeah, we're going to talk more box office numbers later.
It's like, hey, all right, 5th place.
Yeah. So this is spoilers for Jurassic World Rebirth. That water, everything with the Mosasaurus and the Spinosaurus was fucking phenomenal to me. I loved it so much.
Yeah, you being a fan of the original, like, what'd you think of the horror aspect?
Dude, the thing is, like, we talked about, I guess, an episode or two ago, that the Spinosaurus is my favorite dinosaur, and the Mosasaurus is, like, it's up there after this movie, and the Mosasaurus is so fucking scary in the water. Seeing it just floating around, not knowing what's gonna do. I swear that the boyfriend was gonna die like immediately when he fell into the water. I was like waiting for him to die. I didn't want him to, but I was waiting.
I thought
for
he was
it.
gonna die like fucking 10 times in this.
Yeah,
movie.
me too.
Yeah.
Like,
Did you want him to die though?
I did at first.
At some points, yes. At other points, no. And then again, and then again at other points, yes. Like it kind of kept going back and forth.
The horror of the water scene, because I do think those are like the scariest scenes in movies, is with sharks and fucking monsters in the water. I absolutely loved it. It sounds like you did too. I know you said
the dinosaurs. The dinosaurs in this were very sneaky. Like a lot of times they would just like you just see like the guy taking a piss or whatever, and then like no sound, nothing. All of a sudden, like in the frame, the dino's head just like pops up. Like you just got this silly little smirk. What?
Did it remind you of Cornbread and Sinners?
It kind of was actually like Cornbread and Sinners.
I don't understand why you go 300 yards away to go piss. Like
he's love Cornbread.
They're sleeping right there. Why is he going 500 feet to go take a piss?
I guess he doesn't want his girlfriend's like little sister to wake up and see his dick.
Go behind a tree. You're on a dinosaur infested island.
If he did, there'd be a bigger problem.
Jack's like, just go to the corner in my backyard, bro. What are you doing?
Yeah,
like,
we all do it. We all do it.
Well, what's funny, Jack, because you were saying the water scene, and mine did involve water, but honestly, I didn't love the movie until the T-Rex raft scene, not the initial.
Oh, different water scenes.
Different water scene. I mean, they were on an island, so there's bound to be a lot of water. But yeah, I was like, this movie is like fine, and then halfway through the movie during the T-Rex, which is, of course, it has to be a T-Rex. You have to have one in every movie.
You gotta have one.
But that raft scene, like, I thought the horror of it, and then playing on that, the next scene with, excuse my absence of knowing dinosaurs' names, but the bird-like ones with the big beaks, with the egg scene, that was
that's the scientific
great. This is pop quiz. That was a very good scene, and then on top of that, you get the mutation at the end, and just the horror again of like being in a situation like that, like the cliffhanging and the ending. Like Josh, I argue with you a little bit by like you saying it got repetitive, because I agree. Like I didn't even think this could be a full-blown apocalyptic horror movie, but I did appreciate the big bad monster at the end was a mutation and just wasn't another T-Rex. We've seen that a lot.
I did have some problems with the raft scene, the river scene with the T-Rex.
Let's hear it.
I just think, like, how the fuck did that raft not pop when it was in the T-Rex's mouth?
I was thinking the same thing.
And then they float down and they hide behind a rock, and there's clearly a way to walk around the rock, and the T-Rex just turns around and goes back.
I think
a lot of the dinosaurs got bored.
Exactly. They're like, oh well, I guess you win. Like
they go through all this just to turn around.
I think that scene. I hate to say it. I don't want to be like advocating for seeing children die in movies, but like I do think. They really did tease it.
Josh.
They really did tease it to the point where I was like, all right, if they might go there, and when they go there, it's going to actually be a game changer for this movie.
Yeah.
And then
they didn't happen like that.
They didn't go there, and it was like, well, and they kept teasing that they were going to go there with one of these like characters, and it never happened. Not the dad, not the daughters, not the boyfriend. I was like, what are we like? It just.
Not Mahershala
Ali.
The biggest
what did
problem,
the girl do after that scene? Like they could have killed her off, and she would have not just fed the dinosaur
I fucking hated that Mahershala Ali sacrifices himself, and I was like, okay, at least like one of the fucking main characters like has their big moment, and then the fucking flare pops up. I was like, did the dinosaur just walk away again? Like he had him right there. Why would he
had a flare gun? Why didn't he just shoot the flare gun originally to lead it away? Why the fuck did he run away? Like.
But then okay, even if he wasn't thinking about that, why the fuck did the dinosaur not kill him? How the fuck did he live?
I saw
got bored. It's all the Snickers.
They all get bored.
it did have a Snickers, and he was himself again.
No, dude, I saw an interview today with Gareth Edwards, and he said that he wanted Mahershala Ali to die. Mahershala Ali wanted to die. He said, you should kill my character.
That's a harsh statement.
I want to fucking die,
He's like,
dude.
Fucking kill Mahershala.
His name was Duncan Kincaid was his character, and they both wanted that character to die, and they really fought for it. But what is it, Universal or Warner Brothers?
Universal.
Universal said he's too big of a name, and we want to possibly bring him back for the future, so you can't kill him. Shoot. And they filmed his death. Like, they had him die. And then they were in wherever they were, the Philippines or something, and they said, film whatever you can to bring him back. And they filmed the last scene of him shooting off the flare, and that made it to the final cut. Yeah.
Crazy.
So like Gareth Edwards did not want to kill him, but the studio said you have. He did want to kill him. The studio said you got to bring him back.
Wow.
That fucking, I hate that. This is the
You
kind
knew
of
who was
shit
gonna
that
die. If you've never seen the actor before, they were probably.
Yeah, you had plot armor based on like how much you're being paid to be in this movie.
Yeah. Or if they were an asshole, you were like, they're dead.
Yeah, if you're an asshole, or
That's
if
all
you're
the
being
movies.
if you're an asshole, or if you're being paid a lot, you're dead. If you're
Immediately.
under 18 years old, or Scarlett Johansson, or Mahershala Ali, you're chill.
Dude, something I thought that was so funny, I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on it, is like the little girl, all she did after the raft scene was take that dinosaur with her. But the whole beginning of this movie, first of all, that baby dinosaur, Dolores, was only to sell toys, of course.
Yes, keychains.
The whole beginning of this movie was about how dinosaurs in America are dying because they can't live there. And she's bringing home a fucking Triceratops. It's going to grow to be the size of her car and die immediately. Like, she's actually put a death sentence on this little dinosaur.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
it makes no sense.
I get she's a kid, but like in general, a lot of the things that happen in this movie just don't make sense. Like what their intentions are, and like especially with Scarlett Johansson at one point, like why all of a sudden she's just like, nah, let's donate all the fucking money. She's like, you're right.
I know.
She's like, or not the
You
money,
knew
the
what was
fucking
gonna
to
happen.
sign. She's like, nah, let's fucking. I was watching something else that had to do with donating to orphans. She's like, nah, let's fucking donate this shit for everyone. She's like, didn't you just want to like let people die so you can profit off of that for like millions and billions of dollars? Now you want to fucking kill them? Also, do these people not learn? I'm sure they're going to try and set up a sequel where like the fucking DNA they got actually like has this effect that turns people into like fucking mutant dinosaurs, or maybe some stupid shit like that. And it's just
Good
like,
shit. Keep it interesting.
No, I mean, as a fan of film, like maybe they'll finally do something interesting, and that sounds cool. But like from like these characters, why wouldn't you think about that? Like, what the fuck? Why are you gonna inject people with dinosaur DNA? What the fuck?
What'd you guys think of the D-Rex?
The what?
Is that the
the
mutant?
D-Rex, the big giant mutant at the end? They call it the D-Rex.
It was
the
sick.
D-Rex,
I just
okay.
didn't think it did enough.
The what?
The-
It was
the
very cool.
What movie is this?
What dinosaur? I know a T-Rex. I don't know a D-Rex.
Yeah, the D-Rex.
Yeah, it was cool. I liked it. I mean, I had that Megamind head, but it was cool. Yeah, very, very like a big old pimple.
Yeah, I thought it looked cool design-wise, but I'm with you, Josh. Like, it was... The fact that it didn't even kill Mahershala Ali, I was like, at least it's doing something. It just fucking slammed
That's
the bad
true.
guy's car, and that was it.
Yeah, it was just, that's why I'm saying,
That's
like,
true.
the stakes aren't being raised. Like, there's not, that was such an anticlimactic final act, in my opinion.
I agree. I'm
I
talking
thought it
a
was
lot of shit.
awesome though. Yeah, I thought it was so cool, and
Yeah.
the car was cool where he kept swerving with the passengers. I thought that was funny.
Yeah,
Good.
it was a good, like, I'm talking a lot of shit, but I gave it an 8 out of 10. Like, I
I mean,
had
I
such a
didn't,
good time.
so
I
didn't
just had
give
such
it
a good
an
time watching it, and there were such cool moments, like the fucking the giant Quetzalcoatlus or whatever they're called. You know, of course, I love the Spinosauruses, the Mosasaurus. The T-Rex swimming was actually sick, dude. When it disappears behind the thing, it's like a fucking magician.
Oh yeah.
Like I was
Well,
like,
the horror
oh, shit, dude.
aspects are so good.
And the
Like,
horror aspect. They need
keep
to
us
do
on
a
our
full-blown
toes.
horror Jurassic Park movie.
Well, that's what I'm
what do you guys
saying. This
think
franchise
about a
should be-
rated R Jurassic Park movie?
I would
I
love
think
it.
that's where the Jurassic Park franchise should be at this point.
I agree. They need to go there.
Yeah.
If they
Yeah,
want,
absolutely. Over 30 years.
otherwise the franchise has nothing left. There's no more juice in it, in my opinion. So I think they need to up the ante and make this full-blown horror, rated R, apocalyptic kind of shit, or they need to pull the plug and try something else. Like, that's my opinion on it.
Is this a trilogy? Is this gonna be something?
I mean,
new?
I don't think they've
It
announced
has to
yet,
be.
but we're talking about box office numbers before. This movie broke. It had the biggest July 4th weekend ever.
Ever?
Like for an
Holy
opening.
shit.
Wow.
It's the third major movie this year to break a box office record, which is interesting because none of these movies have broken $1 billion. But yes, Jurassic World Rebirth is the like biggest 4th of July. I wonder, I don't know if it's counting the Wednesday and Thursday as well, so it's like 5 days.
Yeah.
Because that's worldwide. The numbers I read to you guys before is domestic.
Yeah.
But point being, they're probably going to do another one. I mean, it's Jurassic World, Jurassic Park, right? Like, it's the franchise. As long as it's making the money, they'll hash another out. So,
yeah.
And Jack, are you satisfied since Jurassic Park is your favorite movie? Like, do you want to see more?
You know me so well. You do know me so well. Yeah. I do want to see more. If they can learn from this, which Jurassic Park has the tendency to make a good movie. The best movie is always the first of the trilogy, with the first one in Jurassic World. And if this is the best of the trilogy, it's not going to be a fun ride. But if they could finally learn from their mistakes, and I think they did learn a little bit, because I noticed a very hefty lack of raptors this movie, and I think people were kind of getting raptor fatigue from the Jurassic Worlds, just them being like the main dinosaur. Like nobody gets sick of the T-Rex, but having like constant. So I do think they're slowly learning, but until the day they do a full-on horror movie, Jurassic World will never be as good as the first Jurassic Park movie.
Yeah, I mean, that's a classic. Like, you're talking about something that people still talk about, that is and touched by the hands of the great Steven Spielberg. It doesn't get better than that. I don't think it ever will. And I don't think they're really trying to make it as good. Like, they're not doing anything different. They're using the same formula. And this is coming from someone who enjoyed the movie and isn't looking at it from that scope either. It's just, again, talking about what movies do you want to see rebooted and what would you want to pull the plug on. I'm fine with these ones. These ones, like, yeah, it's kind of annoying they keep coming out with them, but like, it makes sense. They make so much money. Kids, families, adults, everyone loves dinosaurs. You can't not enjoy a dinosaur.
Right.
But I think the best they can do for this franchise is continue the horror train, make it fucking scary. I mean, this one was actually like, again, I'm a horror guy. I don't get scared. Like, I'm not trying to boast about that, but like, I just like the element of the suspense and the thrill. It doesn't have to be like this serial killer movie or this like, psychological journey. Like, as long as there's like those moments that are tense and like, who's gonna die, like what is gonna pop out next, like those are like, that's what's scripting. Those are what keeps the franchise going, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think when you're asking those questions, it's hard to be like, who's gonna die, when they have actors like Scarlett Johansson and Mahershala Ali, because we as like an audience know, like, there's no fucking way they're killing Scarlett Johansson, and I was really surprised that they killed Mahershala Ali and then they just don't. Like, I think it'd be really cool for a Jurassic Park movie to have a really famous actor and kill them in the first act, and that sets the tone. Even if they don't kill any more famous actors, like, they just use them as a plot device to be killed. That just sets the tone.
Suicide Squad.
Exactly, dude. That sets the tone where anyone can die, and this movie should have done something like that, because the second Jonathan Bailey fell like 300 feet and landed on two branches and then into a 1 inch puddle of water and then came out totally fine, I was like, nobody else is fucking dying, dude.
Yeah,
I was like, when he can survive that, they're all fine.
That was fucking ridiculous.
That was crazy, dude.
One of my favorite things from this was I went on opening night with Killian and I's friend Matt. And I don't know if you guys got these at your shout out Matt. Holy fuck. Let's get you on the fucking podcast
love
soon.
Matt. Needs to be next guest.
Yeah, dude. Fucking chicken horse. Love it. Anyway. So they gave these like giveaways on opening night, and it was these like, usually when you go and get a giveaway in an opening, it's just like a poster. But this was pretty cool. It was these like lanyards, and so on the lanyard it says like Jurassic World, and it's supposed to be like the old, I guess, just like from the Jurassic World labs, the NGEM labs. They have the key cards to get in, which it's like kind of a weird giveaway because they don't ever use key cards in this movie. Like, as nothing. They should have gave out
Snickers bars.
They should have just like one Snickers, but not even the bars, just the wrappers. Like, you just get an empty Snickers wrapper.
I'm beating that joke to death. It's so funny to me.
Oh, dude, that is sick. But you saw it on Wednesday, right?
I saw it Wednesday when it came out.
Yeah. I saw it Wednesday too. I didn't get shit.
Well,
wow. Was it like a fan event or whatever?
No, it was just a fucking like,
wow,
just one of these
shows.
You
went to AMC, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
God damn it. We got this cool lanyard. So we're sequencing engineers.
Damn, that's pretty sick.
Is what we are.
Sequel engineers, because there's more to come.
Sequel. Wow.
Engineer and another one.
Yeah, man. Like Alan Grant, we're digging your grave up again.
Anyone have any other final comments on this movie or anything they want to talk about? I think we kind of...
These movies will always do good at the box office, no matter if they're rated G or rated R or whatever, and I hope they take a chance to make this give it a different scope. Dinosaurs are cool, and we've seen other dinosaur movies before in the theaters, or you haven't. 65 came out. No one fucking saw that. I didn't see it. So there's other ones out there.
I saw it, but not in theater.
Jurassic Park. Oh, really?
Yeah, it was not good.
Jurassic Park has the audience. Oh, you did see it. Oh, so I'm so wrong. What did you think about that?
Fucking terrible.
Yeah, it was
but
not
again,
a good
I
movie.
gave it a star because it has dinosaurs. I was like, this is worth a star. Dinosaurs are cool.
I remember I watched that movie the day they announced the year after it came out. They announced the Oscars that following January, and I watched it the day they announced the nominations. I was like, this is the worst fucking movie to watch on Oscar nomination day. But I do think this is a good chance for us to get over to something that came out right before Jurassic World in our viewings, which was a movie that's probably going to be much, much better, The Odyssey. 1 year from now, Christopher Nolan's Odyssey will be coming out into theaters, and we got our first look at it. And obviously, this is the movie that everyone's anticipating. This is the big one coming out. And so, was it the same for you guys where it was after the AMC logos and everything?
I was getting nervous.
I was like, there's no fucking teaser. And I remember there was a guy sitting next to Matt and I in the theater. So he comes in. So Matt and I came at the beginning of the trailers because we didn't know when it was going to show. And usually I wait, and we come afterwards. But we were like, well, we don't know when the trailer's going to show. So we show up. This guy comes next to us, and he's like, has the Odyssey trailer shown yet? I'm like, no, you're fine. You're good. And then the AMC logos all start playing, and we're all like, what the fuck? Is the Odyssey trailer not going to fucking play? And the guy gets up and walks out. And I lean over to Matt, and I'm like, dude, I think this guy's going to go complain about the Odyssey teaser. Because he just asked us about it. He's getting up because I was like, I don't know if it's gonna play.
The 16-year-old at the front desk knows to fucking play the Odyssey.
Yeah, I know, right? What's he gonna fucking underpaid to fucking minimum wage fucking 16-year-old?
He's gonna remake it real quick.
Yeah.
He's like, let me call Chris Nolan for you. Hold on, I got him on fucking speed dial. So he goes out, and then the fucking 4 or 5 AMC ads play, and then all you see is Universal and Syncopy. And I was like, holy fuck, it's the fucking Odyssey teaser. And I look over, and the fucking guy's not there. And I was like, oh my fucking God, the guy's gonna miss the fucking Odyssey teaser. He comes in, and I think he caught enough of it. But it was so funny because it was starting, and I didn't see the guy. And I was like, oh my God, the guy was gonna miss it because he's too busy asking the person about that. But he went out there, and the fucking movie gods got scared. They're like, fine, all right. Here's your teaser.
Yeah, I mean, it was only 45 seconds long. You almost missed it.
No, it was over a minute.
Was it? It felt so fast.
It was I think it was 60-something seconds.
Damn. What did you guys think of it?
Anyway, I wanted to tell that story. So what did you guys think of it? Yeah.
I thought it was a little teaser. I honestly didn't take anything away from it, but it's oh yeah, this movie exists. It's going to happen. It's going to look good. There's the actors. It did its job, but I guess I was expecting to see more sets or more practical effects, big creatures. Yeah. I don't know, but I guess it's a teaser.
I mean, it's a teaser. Yeah, it's not even the full trailer. I loved it, and I don't want to be the guy that just overhypes every step of the way for this. But Christopher Nolan is one of my favorites for a reason, and I do think he is one of the most anticipated releases for a reason. I don't think it's obviously for no reason that his teaser is the one that plays after an AMC credit when they turn off the lights, because I actually remember them doing that for Oppenheimer a year before Oppenheimer came out, and I remember that teaser, and it was the countdowns, the bomb and the world is forever be changed, and that was the same deal. It was after the AMC ads, and they lower it, and I think the Odyssey is going to be even bigger. I think this could be one of the defining films of our generation, of our time.
I can't wait.
And yeah, we didn't get a lot because they're still filming it. They're still working on it. But I'm glad that he's not giving us much. But we see a good portion there. We're seeing this interaction between Tom Holland and John Bernthal, and we're starting to learn a little bit more about their mythology. and about like, you know, what this show is going to, or movie is going to look like. Like I'm super excited for this, and the teaser did its job for me.
We didn't really know who anyone was playing. Like, it was all speculation. I mean, everyone was like, yeah, Matt Damon is Odysseus, but it's nice to know, like, Tom Holland is his son, Telemachus. John Bernthal is, like, his, like, right-hand general back at home. But I'm with you, Kill. Like, I think that I was expecting to see at least, like, an overview shot of the world, like of either him on one of the islands that he gets stuck on, or on, like, the ship or something like that. Like, we get to see him floating, of course, and stranded, but I think I was expecting at least a scene of Matt Damon saying or doing something besides just laying there. I'm not disappointed in any way. It's just not what I was expecting.
I think it's building the hype.
It is. It absolutely is.
I think they're giving us little pieces.
And I love John Bernthal. Like, he's the fucking GOAT. So just seeing him, knowing he's not like a tiny part of it, at least is what it looks like, was really cool.
I just think it's really cool because I think, and I've seen like some other posts within the community that like share these similar thoughts. Like, it's really, we're getting these little pieces of information about this greater Greek mythology and like where Nolan is exactly going to pull from. And you think about like the kinds of films Nolan makes and the protagonists that he centers around, which is these people who deal with these great, you know, moral like issues and debates, and that's like really what the Odyssey is at its heart, you know, stealing from the gods and defying them, and it just seems like he's going to pull from a lot of different mythology. It's going to help a lot of people learn about a lot of cool tales that they and god characters that they don't know about, and I just think it's cool because you're going to see, like, again, you look at the central characters of Nolan's films, and you look at J. Robert Oppenheimer or Batman or Cooper from Interstellar, you know, and like they face these great moral debates, and I think the Odyssey is going to be the pinnacle of this. And I think, like, you know, yeah, all right, we don't see a lot of Matt Damon, but that's because of this, and I think they're building up to this. And so yeah, you know, I'm not saying it's the greatest, like, it's not the greatest trailer I've ever seen, but in terms of a teaser and in terms of what the Odyssey could be, I think it's right along that lines of the hype.
Yeah, I got the job done. Like, I'm not familiar with the story, similar to Oppenheimer. Like, of course, everyone knows the atom bomb story, but you don't know about the psychological impact it had on him as a character and everyone around him in that world. And, you know, this being a work of fiction, I think that there's a lot of ways to interpret this instead of just, you know, going straight off of a biography of real life events. So I'm excited to learn. You know, I think that, you know, you look back at a lot of these mythological movies from the 60s, 70s, and, you know, they're outdated. They're slower. They're kind of operas or theater plays, if you will. And they're slower, and I don't think we've gotten something like this in a really long time. So to see Christopher Nolan take the mantle, you know, you have my trust, we have your trust, both of you guys, and I think he has a lot of people's trust.
I mean, it's so
just to learn.
You know, for a director as big as him to cultivate a cast as popular as the one that he has, to tell a story as ambitious as they are, on the scale like never before seen, with IMAX cameras never before used, going all around the world, probably going to be incredible sets, incredible costumes. Like, we could be in for one of the all-time, like one of the all-time great pieces of work. And I'm excited. I was more excited to see the teaser than Jurassic World Rebirth, if I'm being fully honest, when I went into that theater. I saw both, was more excited for the teaser. And I think the teaser paid off for me a little more. But yeah, the Odyssey.
I mean, you've been talking about this movie since the first episode. So yeah, you guys are like really dialed in. I don't think you missed an episode where you didn't mention it.
Probably, dude.
The day that comes out, and the episode where we talk about the Odyssey might be the entire episode. It might be the longest episode in Box Office Dynasty history. Yeah. Like, that's going to be nuts.
Try topping this one.
Yeah, I know. Well,
Me and
Come on,
Josh
Kill.
are talkers.
Kill. We got to cut some of this out. We're getting short for time.
Good luck editing this, Jack.
Here,
Fuck, dude.
don't worry, guys. You can skip ahead with the timestamps. You don't have to listen to all this. All right, and in 5th place, we have.
Love it.
Yeah, we're all so excited. Josh, I'm gonna let you take the reins for the rest of this episode because it's all your stuff that you want to talk about.
All right. Well, why don't we breeze through these next two real quick? Just quickly, some thoughts on these pieces of news coming out. The first being Indiana Jones. Apparently, Lucasfilm. Nothing confirmed. These are all just speculations at the time. But that at their at 2026's D3, the Disney event, they're expected to announce a reboot for the Indiana Jones franchise. This is coming off the failure of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, and apparently they feel that the story with the Phoebe Waller character and Harrison Ford's Indiana Jones, I guess, has reached its end, and they're expecting to reboot it. Will this actually happen? I don't know, but we're talking about Jurassic World and franchises a lot throughout this episode, so I want to know your guys' thoughts about a potential Indiana Jones reboot, because we've never actually had a reboot.
This is news to me.
For Indiana
I
Jones.
have not heard about this.
I haven't either.
It's all speculation at the moment. I don't know if it's going to actually happen, but it's speculation around that they are going to reboot the franchise. So if that were to happen...
It's very expected, though, because think of the history of Star Wars before Disney is people had to wait, 20, 30 years for the next big movie to come out, and they finished the trilogy, and that's it. And, you guys got series. I wasn't, huge on Star Wars like that, where I was really just gripping and waiting for something new. But from my recollection, there was the Clone Wars, and there was the Clone Wars movie, and then it was a while until we got the new trilogy by Disney. And then ever since that first movie, there has been nonstop Star Wars stuff, and it's like superhero fatigue. It's a lot, but I think that I'd be curious to see a chart of just franchises, because there could be a great trilogy, and this is going back to the Future. It's why is that not not that I want it, not that we want it, but if you look at, and maybe I'm wrong. I mean, like you said, the new Indiana Jones was a box office failure, so I guess everything isn't golden just because it was once great. So yeah, maybe I'm wrong. I'm curious to hear what you guys think about that. It's almost a given that this franchise is coming back, whether it was going to be tomorrow or whether it was going to be in 10, 20 years. It's bound to happen. Indiana Jones is not done. Harrison Ford might be done, but it lives on. So what is your guy, or Jack, what's your view on that? Do you think it's ever going to die?
I want it to, as unfortunate as that is. I think this is doomed to fail. Like you said, it's inevitable for them to make a reboot of anything that is once a moneymaker and anything that is once considered great. But I think it's doomed to fail. There's no replacing Harrison Ford. I kind of see it like the new Harry Potter series that's coming out. I think it's so, because you still have these movies that are so recent. Dial of Destiny came out in 2023 or 2020. Yeah, I think 2023. It's give it time. I think there needs to be a good breath for people to be oh, we want this back. You give people time to breathe. You make them kind of not forget about Indiana Jones, but give them a while without it, so they start to want it again. When you have so much of something and it's shoved down your throat, you're not going to like it. You're going to get sick of it. And we see that with Jurassic Park or Jurassic World. I think we're going to see that with the Harry Potter series that's coming out. It's too soon since these movies have come out, and there's no coming close to the original. They can do their best, but this early, I don't think it's going to be anything even worth seeing, honestly.
Well said.
Yeah. It's the whole debate, which can go on for hours, about do we want original content, which is a gamble, or do we want franchise content that we've seen before that will suffice and we will be able to talk about because everyone's seen it. And that's something you guys have addressed. That's something that I've addressed with my friends and my crew, and that's a tricky subject to just keep it brief, because it's hard.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope.
We know we're willing to watch original movies because we have A-list, but I get it from a consumer standpoint. Not everyone's willing to take that risk.
Yeah, but we say that, and then if they reboot Indiana Jones and come out with a new movie, we're probably all going to go see it. And we're the part of the problem. That's an interesting debate to have another day too, about why we all do that, and we
why we feel the
need
need
like,
to.
why we feel the need to keep up with it. Obviously, not enough time to really get into all that.
Yeah,
but
let's start now.
It does make for interesting. And coming in fifth place is all right.
Brought to you by Snickers.
I just wanted to get thoughts on another piece of news that I read, I think like literally today. Like I just was like, oh, all right, well, we probably should bring this up. Michael Douglas announces his retirement from acting at the age of 80. I don't know if you guys saw this before the episode, but yeah, Michael Douglas. So I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, that's obviously he's a pretty important figure. I'm sure, Jack, you're initially going to Ant-Man, obviously, as Hank Pym. That's classic. But he's been in a lot of great stuff, and his dad, Kirk Douglas, was like a giant of Hollywood too. Spartacus and Paths of Glory, and so yeah, it's quite an announcement, I would say.
How old is he?
Yeah, he hasn't been in stuff in a while though.
I mean,
for sure.
I think his last movie is actually Quantum Mania.
That's a terrible way to end off.
It is. Yeah. Like that's such a crummy way.
He needs to be in the Odyssey.
Dude, Chris Nolan, get him on the phone. Like, come on,
Zeus.
Chris, you can get facts. But you know what's funny is Quantum Mania now has had 2 of its stars retire from acting since
Evangeline Lilly
and Michael Douglas.
And probably Jonathan Majors, if we're being honest.
Jonathan Majors. Well, is it retirement or did they just kick him out? Like,
forceful
I don't know.
Retirement.
To answer your question, Jack, he is 80. He's gonna be 81 in September. Michael Douglas.
I see actors retiring, and I never buy it. I feel like if he gets a good role across his desk, he's not going to give it up. But he's only
Daniel
80,
Day-Lewis was retired for like how long, and now he's back. Apparently,
exactly.
It's been even 10 years.
Yeah,
I think retirement for actors, especially of that level, is really just a break until something worth doing comes across their desk, until they die.
At his age, though, it might not be necessary. Like actors do retire and then not come back. You're right. Jack Nicholson's never like doing anything again.
Right, but I think they'd be willing to if the right thing came across.
I don't think Jack Nicholson would do it for any role at this point.
Really?
I don't think so. I think he's been very clear about it.
They probably tried to get him
He's
back
honestly
for,
not even super
the
well.
Flash or something.
Like he's on.
Oh, probably.
Like he's not even in the best of health. Like Jack Nicholson with his personality and like his career, and he doesn't owe us anything. Like,
well, health-wise, I could see retirement. Like if you're healthy, it's different.
So, I mean, with Michael Douglas, maybe at his age, he just wants to like do other things and he's satisfied in his career. Maybe a role does come across the table that changes their mind. You know what I mean? That wasn't presented to them like when they made the decision to retire. But like I think that's the interesting thing about that industry and doing that job is that like that opportunity can present itself. You can retire and genuinely mean it to spend more time with your family or travel or do whatever. Take up other hobbies or interests, but then you get presented a role and like that changes your perspective. Like I think that's fair.
I agree.
But looking back at Las Vegas, that movie that came out 10 years ago, like who was it? It was him, Morgan Freeman, Alan Arkin, and I think it was it De Niro?
Yes.
Who was the fourth?
I don't know.
Man, I forget who the fourth one was, but given. After that movie, you haven't that was kind of their like last movie in a way. Like I was surprised he returned for Ant-Man. But Morgan Freeman we haven't seen a lot. Alan Arkin sadly passed away. Robert De Niro, if he's in it, I mean he's still doing great.
It was De Niro.
I just looked it up. It was De Niro, okay. Yeah. Which is a very off movie for him to do, but he did do War with Grandpa and Dirty Grandpa.
War with Grandpa was crazy.
Which is cool. It's cool. I like to see him in roles like that. But I think after I saw Las Vegas back, 10 years ago, that was a movie for older audiences, but I think it spoke a lot about just these actors are maybe I'm reading into it, but maybe struggling to find work, and this kind of fun little movie that parents will watch is something that is like rehashing, kind of like 80 for Brady. Like I haven't seen those actresses in a while, and it's nice to see them together.
Yeah, that was a nice movie.
It was a nice movie, and I enjoyed it, but it does really show you, like, this is probably one of their last movies,
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I think they're very meta. There's a very self-aware production with that.
And they're cute. I love them. Nothing against them.
Mm-hmm.
I think for the sake of time and technology, I'm going to. We were going to discuss a little bit about some of our guilty pleasures and displeasures. I know we all prepared a few, but for the sake of time and technology, at the time of recording,
I could talk for hours.
I'm going to skim past it.
Can you spit them off? Can you spit them out like for 5 seconds?
I think we should each rapid fire ours and then make like 1 or 2 comments about each other.
Okay, all right, fine. Fire. So let's
Please,
rapid fire. Let's rapid fire some of our guiltiest pleasures and guiltiest displeasures. So for anyone who is a little, for some reason, confused what I mean by that, is like obviously everyone knows what a guilty pleasure is, but what about ones that people like that you don't like? You know, like I feel like you don't always ask that question. So we can go down the line. Kill, you're our guest. I feel like it makes sense for you to go first.
Yes. I am such a sucker for... I love guilty pleasures, hidden gems, and like I think the real reason we watch movies is to find hidden works, things that we're entertained by that people say aren't good, and we're like, dude, you're wrong. I'm right. This is my opinion. My opinion's right. You guys are wrong. These are great movies. I prepared myself: Greasy Strangler, Three Stooges, Circle, ABC's Death, The Dive Wimpy Kid Trilogy, 8 Crazy Nights, Good Burger, Little Man, Jingle All the Way, and Microwave Massacre. And 3 or 4 movies that I think are overrated and I don't like. Maybe I got to rewatch: Casablanca, Gone with the Wind, Citizen Kane, more recently and very controversial, the first Knives Out.
Oh, shit.
The dichotomy of those lists is hilarious.
Okay.
Right? I love how it's like, oh, these movies are great. It's like, no, you're wrong.
You're like, these all-time classics that have been acclaimed by so many are awful, but The Greasy Strangler fucking rocks.
Yeah, like quick comments on that. Like, first of all, Good Burger, fucking fantastic comedy. Like, that's top tier.
I have a painting. Do you see this?
I'm so with you.
I do like Good Burger. I'm with you on that.
Oh, it's a little blurry for me right now. I can't.
Okay, I'll get it. You keep talking.
I'll see it in the final production. I'll see it.
Okay.
And Knives Out, I could not disagree with you more, dude. The first Knives Out is goated.
Yeah, I didn't know that about you, Kill. Oh my god.
I gotta rewatch it, but
you should rewatch it. So do you like Glass Onion? Do you like Glass Onion more than Knives Out?
I loved Glass Onion, and I hated
Jack.
Not Get Out. Sorry, not Get Out. Knives Out. Josh, you're gonna rip me apart. Don't do it.
First of all, give it a 7. First of all, yeah. All right, guys. Remember when Jack gave Get Out a 7.5 out of 10? Well, second of all, Jack.
It's not even a bad rating.
This is like. With your opinion with Inside Out, where you think Inside Out 2 is way better than the first one, it's kind of like the same thing. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. No, Inside Out 2 is so much better. And
that is kind of crazy.
But Knives Out 1 is way better than the second one.
I gotta
No, you're both wrong. You're wrong. You're both half wrong. Knives Out's better than Glass Onion.
Well, let me hear what you gotta say. I want to hear what you both have to say. Let me rip you apart.
Yeah. Well, Josh only told me about we were doing this 2 minutes before we started recording.
Wow.
So
because I didn't think we had enough to fill time, and then look where we are now. So I'm
a pusher. We got to do it.
I was trying to come up with some stuff for us to talk about.
I have a couple, but they're not like the way you did it. I just quickly was like movies I like better than people like similar to like Inside Out 2 is better than Inside Out 1. I think Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade is better than Raiders of the Lost Ark. I think Return of the Jedi is better than A New Hope. I don't even think A New Hope is top 3 Star Wars movies. I don't even think it's top 4. I think it might be my 5th favorite. And I think The Lord of the Rings is fucking boring as fuck. I think it's so overrated. And
you're not allowed to say that opinion because you've only watched an hour of it.
3 times. I watched the first hour and a half. The same hour 3 times.
It's gonna be boring every time. It's not gonna change
boring every time. I got an hour and a half.
You gotta watch the other hours of the movie.
I got an hour and a half. No, but then I'm not gonna remember what was in this first hour. I'm gonna be like, this fucking sucks.
Then watch the whole thing at once, like a fucking person does when they sit down and watch a fucking movie.
My girlfriend Sydney,
Jack, you gave it a Get Out fucking 7 out of 10.
She's not gonna like you. She's not gonna go on the pod.
It's fucking boring, dude. Tell Sydney it's boring as fuck, bro.
You tell her. She's listening right now. Sydney, don't listen to him.
Sydney,
he's wrong.
You're going to make her turn off the podcast. You know what? Wait, Sid, just skip to a different part of the podcast. Press the timestamp now. In 5th place.
No, quickly. You have such like an intriguing world that you're building, and the first hour and a half can't grab me. Like I love Game of Thrones. I love medieval type shit. I'm so invested in these types of worlds, and the first hour and a half is so fucking boring. I had to rewatch it 3 times, 3 different years, and every time I get an hour and a half in, and I go, holy fuck, how much longer is left? And I see there's still an hour and a half. I go, fuck that, and I turn it off. Fuck the Lord of the Rings, dude.
I am very proud of you though for being that bold to say that, because I think a lot of people hold back their opinions like that, and I very much appreciate as I don't want to say wrong. I don't agree with you, but I agree with you on like I don't understand a lot of the dialogue in the movies because it's written in a way that's not. You got to read the book or you got to like know the lore. Like I understand what you're saying, but I will say, or I will advise you, please try to watch a different hour and a half the next time you revisit it.
I know. I also do
like any
watch it
other
by myself.
hour and a half.
I think if I was watching it with like my friends, it'd be a lot easier to get through. But I always watch it by myself because no one else wants to fucking watch a 3-hour movie like randomly.
Box Office Dynasty watch party.
Yo, I'm so down.
Let's do it.
But that's definitely my hottest take. So what do you got, Josh?
I like that.
All right. So a couple of guilty pleasures. Moonraker, which is a James Bond movie from the Roger Moore era. Fucking not good, but it's James Bond in space. With lasers. It's like James Bond Star Wars. It's actually kind of fucking awesome. Cocaine Bear is one of mine. Like I do really like that movie. And I don't love this movie, but it is my third favorite in the franchise is Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. Like I think that one gets overhated. I don't think it's like great. I know I was shitting all over Rebirth, but I actually like Fallen Kingdom a little more than Rebirth. So I know that that's kind of a hot take, I guess, because like I don't think most people would say that about these movies. And then a couple of ones that I don't like. Kill, we were talking about this on the phone. A movie called Reality that came out in 2014. It's about a wannabe director who has 48 hours by a producer to find the perfect Oscar-worthy scream, so that the film will be funded. Yeah, a lot of people like it. I didn't fucking like it. I was like, this sucks. And then a 2-in-1, Saltburn and Promising Young Woman. So Emerald Fennell's two films. I don't like them. I personally think that like, well, Saltburn is fucking gross. All right, Barry Barry. I don't know how to say his last name. Keegan
I think.
Fucking fucks a grave drinks like fucking bathwater. And fucking Promising Young Woman is just like a very it's just a hypocritical film, and just like, I mean, it's a little better than Saltburn, but yeah, sorry. I know I rambled again.
I really like Promising Young Woman, and I was like, same effect of kind of a complete unknown this Oscar season. Like I was like, before I saw, what is this doing? This is not this shouldn't deserve to be in with the greats. This doesn't seem like an Oscar movie. We've seen this before, or it's not as big. I thought Promising Young Woman was one of the best of the year. That movie was fucking good. It was really, really interesting.
On my list of like all the best picture films of the 2020s, it's one of my least favorites. Like, it's obviously not Last, fucking Emilia Perez's, but like
Do you like Roma more?
No. Okay. I do like Promising Young Woman more than Roma. So maybe that's another hot take, because I know some people like Roma, but I'm not one of them. Sorry.
I've never seen most of those. I just heard Cocaine Bear, and that movie's so fun.
Yeah,
dude, Ray Liotta like gets his fucking guts just like ripped out by the fucking Cocaine Bear, and that's like his last movie. Actually, Ray Liotta's had like 5 last roles.
No, but he gets his body like completely destroyed by a bear, and then 2 minutes later it says "in memory of Ray Liotta."
It's so fucking funny.
I was like, holy shit, dude.
But yeah, like Ray Liotta, I'll swear I'll watch a movie and it'll be like, and Ray Liotta in his final role. I'm like, dude, he died like 3 years ago. Or some shit.
Dude, and it's he's always credited as and Ray Liotta.
Yeah, it's like and Ray Liotta. It's like, where are you getting this Ray Liotta from?
By the way, he's in this.
Like, is this AI, like, bro? Like,
yeah, like I don't know about this. Is this you soft launching that for us?
Yeah.
Yeah, we would talk about AI, but sorry, Matt Damon, we don't have enough time for you.
We don't have enough time.
I'm not gonna talk about it.
I love the recurring jokes. You guys are great.
They come up on their own. We don't even need to. Like, I wasn't planning that.
Get possessed.
I saw the opportunity, and dude, that's not even our joke. I just stole that from Jimmy Kimmel.
No, he stole it from us.
Yeah, facts.
I can't actually say we'll
sue him because he keeps.
Dude, yeah, he's gonna sue us, and then
joke.
This fucking
he stole our joke.
You guys are gonna get our podcast shut down. Before we do Seesaw to end the episode, Killian, you might break the record after all at this point.
I love talking about movies.
I do too. I could go. This is the director's cut of the box office.
I have so much I want to talk about still.
That's the worst part is at the end of the episode, dude.
The worst part is I know. But unfortunately, we have to keep it moving along.
I understand.
So I want to do a little tribute. We did a tribute at the beginning of this episode, before you joined, Killian, for Julian McMahon. And now we're going to do a little tribute for Michael Madsen, who passed away this past week at the age of 67 due to cardiac arrest. Michael Madsen, I know, Jack, we were talking about it a little bit. You haven't seen really anything of his.
No
Kill,
idea.
you and I, on the other hand, know him very well because Michael Madsen was a frequent collaborator with Quentin Tarantino. And he always played like that big, macho, tough guy in the movies, but really had a lot of range, very good with his verbal acting and just being able to utilize his space. And he was a great presence. Every time I saw his name in the credits pop up, like, I knew I was in for a good time. You know, he may not be the most well-known name, and I admit that. Like, Jack, I know he's not the most well-known guy, but like, he never really disappointed me, and he played the archetype well. It's definitely a loss. I was sad when I found out.
Yeah, I used to, when I was first introduced to Tarantino movies, like, I used to Google his name because he was in all of them. And I wanted to watch all the movies he was in because that was one of those actors that you hadn't heard his name all the time, but he was a really fucking good performer. And especially in Reservoir Dogs, which was really the first major role I saw him in.
Yeah, Mr. Blonde.
And yeah, just that one scene, like, that is one of the most iconic scenes. Just in film history, I think, or recent film history, with him dancing with the don't want to spoil the movies if you haven't seen Reservoir Dogs, but given recent light of this news, highly recommend watching it, or at least that scene,
and The Hateful Eight
on YouTube.
Yeah,
and The Hateful Eight,
yeah,
and honestly Kill Bill being one of my
Yeah.
favorite movies. Like, he's great in Volume 2.
I'm sure I've seen him because I've seen Hateful Eight, I've seen Pulp Fiction, Inglourious Bastards, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So I'm sure he's shown up in at least one of those. But I haven't been too familiar with him.
We've talked a little bit on this podcast, Jack, about like directors who have, like, I say, their own troops of actors, like they're recurring actors who work in multiple films, like Wes Anderson, Mike Flanagan has that.
Nolan has his.
Martin Scorsese, yeah, Nolan to a little bit of a lesser extent, but yeah, he does. Tarantino obviously has his big troupe. And I feel like Michael Madsen is like one of those like prominent members. Like, obviously you think of Quentin Tarantino, you think of Samuel L. Jackson, you think of Brad Pitt, you think of DiCaprio. But Michael Madsen, like, he was in, like you said, Kill, most of his movies, and a prominent figure and a great character actor. So he's going to be missed. That 67's too young, in my opinion. And, I would have liked to see him in Tarantino's final movie, or maybe in the Once Upon a Time follow-up, or any work. Like, he was in Donnie Brasco. Nothing to do with Tarantino. He's in Donnie Brasco. I think he's great in that movie. It's a lot of fun. Plays a similar character in Sonny Black. But, like, that's just what he did, and his contribution to the industry. He'll be missed.
Yeah, well worded.
On that note, I think we should wrap up this episode with some Seesaw.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Can I do one quick thing before we go into Seesaw? Because
sure.
I don't want to. I found my window.
Uncharted territory.
Uncharted territory. The guest is taking hostage of this podcast. I did watch Shock Corridor, so I wanted to quickly say I give it 6 stripper girlfriends out of 10. 6 stripper girlfriends. I had to. I'm gonna listen to what you guys rated it. But I love being included on the podcast, and I love feeling like when you guys watch something or you have an opinion of something, I love formulating my own. And honestly, like, Josh has been someone that I'll listen to the podcast and I'll talk to him about what he just talked about. And it's just like nonstop Josh, but it's like so nice because, like, I could tell you guys are very proud of your podcast. You guys have grown and are constantly shaping and having fun with the viewers with your film Bible and making new games. So this podcast has been really fucking fun to listen to, and I just can't wait to see where it goes. And I'm already like, I already want to be a guest again. Like, I'm so excited to just...
Kill's like, can I be on next week?
Dude, we would love to have you back, bro.
Yeah, I just love being a part of the conversation, and that's why I call Josh. That's why I listen every week. So, I'm very proud of you guys for not just releasing one episode, but releasing, hitting that 10 10 marker milestone and continuing to innovate.
Yeah, this is episode 14.
Wow.
Yeah, bro.
That's crazy. And you've had 2 guests. I can't wait to see more of the friends on.
Yeah.
That means a lot hearing from you.
Yeah,
man.
we appreciate that.
It.
It's you know, and it's people like you, our friends, and everyone who tunes in is like why we do this. And we're trying to get better and make it entertaining and make it something that people can learn a little bit about the movies and gain maybe a new perspective that they didn't realize. It's a place for Jack and I to do the same thing, gain a new perspective on films that maybe we didn't think about before, and just talk about it. And a place where we can create that space to have healthy debate and conversation and fun, and all emotions too. Like we obviously did a couple tributes for some people we lost who were big parts of movies we love, so this is a space where we can do that and have fun and laugh and everything in between. So
yeah, and hearing you, Josh, just talk, and like you are one of the greats. You're one of my best friends, and hearing you being able to project your voice is amazing. But hearing you able to share that with someone that I don't know, who is in this life of yours that was college, and I've never met Jack, I've never met your other friends. So to hear from one of them, not just like see them, but like to hear their opinions every single week. It makes me feel like I've known you, Jack, for a while. And like in December, I have my Christmas party every year. And Josh was a huge part of those Christmas parties. And he was like, hey, can I invite someone? I think you'd really like him. And I'm like, dude, like kind of a friend of yours is a friend of mine. But if I knew you were as cool as you are, I would have like texted you or
dude,
really wanted you to get there.
We got to get you out at a shit.
Yeah, seriously, December.
That would be so fucking fun, bro.
That's where I got Mike.
Oh, my king.
Yes.
Mike, dude. Mike was just
very fun.
House.
Honestly, come over. And honestly, like I wanted to get to this too, not trying to steal the runtime. Like I live in Florida, obviously. I live in Orlando. There is a lot of stuff to do. I'm constantly entertained by the theme parks, the beaches, the great other stuff that the Florida presents. And you guys were talking about Epic Universe on one of your first episodes. And we have this spare bedroom right here. And if you guys ever want to visit, seriously, like not even like
do a live episode down there.
Not even a live episode. Like go on vacation. Like fly down. You guys have a place to stay. We'll drive you around. We'll go to the theme parks with you. We'll take you to where you want to go. Like both you guys are very welcome. If you don't want to share a bed, we have a blow up mattress. I swear.
We love to cuddle. We love to cuddle, dude.
Oh, okay.
When we all hang out, when we all visit each other, we make do. We do what we must.
Bro, that sounds so fun because we would just chop it up, like be talking movies nonstop,
yeah,
like the whole fucking weekend, dude. Like that sounds like
I'm
a
not
great
even
time,
kidding.
Phil.
But like if you guys find a time, fly down. Sydney would be so open as well. Like we love when people visit us. So feel free to just think about it, message us, like. Seriously, like Josh, you should. I'm surprised you haven't come down yet.
I know it's just been a timing thing. I just want to get one more thought about this since you bring it up. Like, Jack, my friends, as you see with Killian here, listen to this podcast, and your friends, and even your girlfriend's friends, all of whom I met this weekend at your house, who have heard about the podcast and or just learned about it, and we're talking about it and talking about different things with film and television. And then I think about like Killian and my friends and all the people he's interacted with that I've never met. Like Killian, now you think about like your friends that I've never met or Bailey met from Florida that love film and all the people they met. Like this is a chain, you know what I mean? Like you got Jack's friends and his girlfriend's friends, and I've met them once and they were very nice and supportive, and we appreciate that. And they love film just as much as we do and can talk about it forever. Then I take that and I bring it to you, Kill, and we could talk about it, and you take it and you bring it to your friends and they take it elsewhere. And it just goes to what I was saying before. Like, yeah, we can talk about me, what I bring to this, we can talk about Jack and what he brings to this. But essentially, it's what film is bringing to this podcast and like what we're all here to do. Like, we're not just doing a stupid podcast talking about whatever. Like, we're talking about film, we're talking about movies, and we're having fun, but we're talking about the way it impacts our lives, helps us as people, makes us better people. Yeah, like I wouldn't have the life that I have or the friends that I have without it. Like, it's such a big part of my identity and who I am and the way I interact with other people. And I think a lot of people are like that. And I think that's what makes it so special. And I think that's why this is working. Like, I honestly, that's why I think this podcast works. I think Jack and I do our best, but I think it goes beyond anything we're doing. I think it's the way we're cultivating this passion we all have and giving it that proper outlet. That's all it really comes down to. So that's just my 2 cents. I don't mean to ramble, but
no, it's very
the
true.
Perspective you put on it made me think of that. And
you're a poet.
I love
You're
it.
such a way with words, man.
I love it.
Well, you're both so passionate, and it shows. I hear it every week, and on the eighth day of the week, on Wednesday when it drops.
Wednesday.
The eighth wonder of the week, Wednesday when the box office dynasty drops. I'm transported to the conversation, and I'm drawn to your guys' passion. Josh coming from someone who, has been in film, likes the history. Likes that. And Jack, no offense at all, but you are someone who's more of the casual watcher, and I think that dynamic speaks to a lot of people and speaks to me, who's a bit of both, and a lot of people who are. So hearing both your takes is really intriguing, and again, sharing that love of film is what Josh said. We're all here, but this has been a great time. I want to get to Seesaw. I do. I'm sorry.
You know what? Killian, you were determined to break the record for longest episode, and there's no doubt in my mind.
I knew it was going to, dude. I can't shut the fuck up.
There's no better way to break it than by complimenting us for 5 minutes. Like, come on, dude. I will take it.
You guys didn't rush that segment.
You're like, no. Go again.
Keep going, dude. We got all day. We got all night.
Like, if they want to skip it, they know where the timestamps are. In 5th place. All right. Well, why don't we get to some Seesaw? Killian, we thank you for those kind words, and you are a guest of honor this week, so you lead the charge here.
Well, thank you. I'm so appreciative that you guys had me on, and, I'm hoping we get to hear from more people soon. You guys are both great, but getting to hear Brandon and hopefully getting to know more of Josh, your friends that are networked with Jack, or even Jack's friends. Like, again, we're all in love with film. We're here for that reason, and here for each other, and here to share and spread our opinion and news. And I think it's cool hearing it from third parties. So I'm excited I'm just excited to see where the podcast goes. You guys have a great future with it. So can't wait to hear it.
Love it, bro. You're too kind, man.
Well, you're welcome.
Well, let's hear some Seesaws. Who's starting?
No, compliment my physical looks now. Compliment that now.
Oh God, Josh, you're really putting me on the stand here. No, you're sexy. You're so hot.
No.
Real.
All right,
flip the
like I said,
three-sided Martin Van Buren.
You know what is on the
scissors.
You know what is on the back of it, by the way. Oh, I was just gonna say you were gonna go first, because you're our guest. So you should go first.
Okay, I didn't know you were waiting for me. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, a lot of pressure. Okay. So what I saw was The Penguin on Max, and that shit was so good. I was late to the game on that.
I need to tell you right now, because my C is Penguin. Before you get into spoilers, my C for this week is Penguin.
Okay.
What the fuck?
That's crazy. It's been up for a while. I'm surprised you haven't seen it, being such like a comic book nerd.
I know. So you go, just don't spoil, please.
Okay, I know. No, I wasn't gonna spoil it. All I'm gonna say is, like, if you've seen the Batman and you're hesitant to watch the Penguin, do not be hesitant. I thought it was like gonna be a cash grab series or whatever, but HBO Max is fucking cooking, dude. Like, their writing, their filmmaking, it's just next level. Like, and just going off of Last of Us, like, even though the season wasn't the best, I still enjoyed it. It wasn't the best. You're in for a treat, because they got the, like, technicians. They got those filmmakers that's going to make that viewing experience golden. And The Penguin is incredible. So highly recommend that. 10 out of 10. And my C, what I would like to visit, being a resident growing up in New Jersey, no longer. Maybe that's why I haven't seen it yet, because I moved. I would love to see The Sopranos. I feel like that's a rite of passage for growing up in New Jersey. I am someone who loves visiting filming locations. I am someone who just loves, like, the natural feel of maybe they've recorded a lot in a soundstage, but they've definitely recorded a lot in the native soil of Jersey. And I love that. I love shooting on location. I love being able to see a tangible thing and visit that history. And coming off of The Penguin, like, I'm on that mob kick. So I will watch The Sopranos very soon.
And there's a lot of, like, inspirations in The Penguin from The Sopranos. It's cool you mentioned that, Kill, with the location, because there's a diner, like, 5-10 minutes from me that you used to film a bunch of Sopranos stuff at, actually. So like,
did you go and get the gabagool?
I have been there before. It's kind of pricey. Wow. I think they know because they're the Sopranos diner. So I go there. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm fucking. Is Tony here? Like, I don't know. What am I doing?
AI.
Yeah, like what
AI James Gandolfini.
What am I paying for here? So, yeah. Anyway, Jack, why don't you go now?
I'll go next because that's a good segue, I guess. That's so funny because I was like thinking of something that I wanted to put for something I want to see, and The Penguin is something I want to see. I watched the first 3 episodes, and then I got really distracted with school and finals and writing 70 pages of papers and shit like that, and I kind of forgot about the show. And then I realized like 2 days ago, I go, holy fuck, I never finished The Penguin. I got like halfway through, a little less than halfway, and I never finished it. And it was good too. It was nothing wrong with it. It kind of just left my mind, after leaving it for a couple weeks untouched. So that's definitely something I want to get back to and finish. I think that's so funny that you put that. And something that I saw, something else that's not finished. I feel like I always cop out at Seesaw these days, but something else that I didn't finish is
you really do. Okay. Oh no, that's not a cop out.
I'm watching it right now. I'm a little more than halfway done. We're gonna have we're gonna talk about it on an actual episode, not just during the Seesaw at some point this month. But I just want to say that it makes me nervous for Stranger Things because Netflix has this tendency to not know how to end their shows, especially they have their good 1-season shows, they have their Hill Houses, they have their Bly Manors, stuff like that. But then they have their You and Squid Game and Outer Banks and whatever, all these shows that seasons 4, seasons 5, they suck. And Squid Game season 3 is not really any different so far. And it makes me nervous for the end of Stranger Things. I have high hopes, but also I have some reservations about it.
Do you think that maybe Netflix would like give the Duffer Brothers a little more creative freedom because it's their bread and butter, it's their like prime IP, and, like compared to some of these other shows that they may kind of like helicopter parent, so to speak?
You would think so, but it's Netflix, and I think they're just going to do whatever would get them more money. And they should realize that giving these creative liberties is how they make more money, how they get better reviews. But I do think that they're like, we are the end all be all of TV. Like, we know what's best, so we are the production. We're going to do everything on the way we want to do it. So I don't know how it's going to end, but I'm watching Squid Game, and it's nowhere near season 1. And it makes me nervous. So we'll see what the future holds.
Well, I guess that leaves me. So something that I saw recently was a rewatch, actually. I rewatched National Treasure. I hadn't seen it since I was like a kid, and it just felt like a fun thing to throw on for 4th of July celebrations. I was like, what better way to celebrate than Nick Cage stealing the Declaration of Independence? Why not? And it's not like a fantastic movie, but this was a solid, fun rewatch, like holds up decently well. Definitely enjoyed myself. Something I want to see. You talk about cop-outs. This is the first time I'm copping out a little bit, but just because I'm so fucking excited, is Superman, which was Jack's C a couple weeks ago. It's coming up. We're coming up to the week of Superman, and like to me, yeah, you have F1, which was great, and Jurassic World and Fantastic Four, but this ultimately is the big release of the summer. When you think of like Barbenheimer and just different summer releases over the last several years, and Superman is that this year. And I think that like obviously with the DCU and everything riding on it and the marketing, like there's a lot of hype and buildup. Like this is the movie. And I'm very excited because like I don't really know what we're getting yet. Like I think it's gonna be good, but we don't really know as of right now. So like just a lot of excitement and hope around Superman.
Yeah, man. And about Superman too, it's like we don't really know what this movie is about still. They haven't really given us like a plot.
Really don't.
Like we know Lex Luthor's the bad guy. But like that's it.
Especially for all the footage we've seen and all the different trailers, which there's been a lot for this movie, we don't really know exactly what the plot looks like yet.
So I love this mystery.
Like that's great.
The excitement adds up.
So that about does it this week, you guys. What a trip this was. A lot of highs, a lot of lows. But we made it out on the other side together. So listen, if you're not one of the 3 of us and you're on the other side of this, please give us a follow on TikTok, on Instagram, on Spotify, on YouTube, on Amazon. Tell all of your friends and fellow film lovers. Tell your grandma, your grandpa. Tell your mailman. Tell your dog about it. Your dog probably likes, some of these movies. Your dog's excited for Superman, so Super Dog.
sure.
So fucking Crypto's in the movie. So anyway, yes, but give us a follow, subscribe, share, comment. Drop a Bible study number. I'm mixing up the names and segments. Long episode. Kills drained it all out of me. But we're glad we had you, Killian. We want to thank you.
I'm gonna call Josh
here.
after this. I'm gonna go.
Just give me a call. Be like, I haven't talked to you in a while. What have you been up to?
It's weird. It doesn't feel like I'm talking to you. Like this just feels like it doesn't feel like I'm filming something. It just feels like I'm talking to you.
And I guess that's
what a podcast is, but it's so natural. And I was a little nervous coming on, to be honest. I don't really. I stop reviewing stuff on Letterboxd. I don't really publicly say my opinions on things, even though I have a lot of them. But it feels very intimate. I love talking to you guys about this. I love hearing it from you guys, and you guys create such an inviting atmosphere.
It's intimate until one clip goes like viral on TikTok, and most of the comments are like yelling at us because they think our opinions
they're like, these guys are fucking idiots.
Then it's not really intimate anymore. But we love the.
So you hate the
traffic.
love. You hate the popularity.
No, whoa.
Okay.
I didn't say all that.
Give it a downvote, guys. Unlike on Spotify, unlike on YouTube.
That's it. This episode's not coming out. This is the Lost Files, Kill.
No, it's the longest one. It has to be.
Hold on. You know what? We'll be right back after these messages. In 5th place.
What a perfect way to end it, with a callback.
All right. Yes, sir. We got it.
Did I get everything, Jack? Is there any technical?
Yeah. Well, no, you got to follow us at Box Office Dynasty, at everything, at Box Office Dynasty, all our socials. And all our socials are linked in every YouTube video and every Spotify description. So make sure you check those out. And
check out Killian's work too. We plugged him before, so check out Killian's work.
Sweet.
Take
we'll
us
link
home,
anything
Kill.
we need to link.
Well, yeah, just on YouTube, Discover Florida channel. Lots of great content on there. We have a streaming service as well. There's an application for. Again, just great content. Thanks for letting me have an outlet. It's the company I work for, Crawford Entertainment, and honestly, I love it. I've been there for 4 years, and we make great work. And I'm the lead editor, and it's just so rewarding getting your stuff out there, as you guys have learned. Having something to show for it, having your voice out there is amazing. So I'm very proud of my content. And
man,
watch my stuff, but continue to listen to this podcast. I love it.
That's 2-time Emmy winner Killian right there. So just flexing that to end the episode. 2 times, guys, not 1, 2.
Bye, guys.
2.
Take care.
Bye.
Love y'all.